Hey everybody, and welcome back. How are we doing, guys? It is Sunday night. It is the what are we doing tonight, Decider?
What are we doing? I don't know. You asked me to be here and said look good.
So you got one of those down.
No, I was here. Huh? That's what
Ouch.
it was. That's what he went for. I knew it.
How is everybody doing tonight? That was quick. You used to that though.
Glad my speech impresses you.
Did you finish?
That bodes well for your future.
At least he finished it.
Right?
Everybody, welcome back. It's been a month. I've got a hair in my mouth. When beards attack. All right, everybody. It is Sunday night. It is How I Nerd. It is Tabletop Tavern with Decider 12, Gunnar. Why don't we be consistent with this one, okay? With Decider 12, Cyclone Jack,
just make
Gamer Mom, Luna, and Yachts. That's Twitch. That's Twitch.
Whatever. Yachts.
We are we're going to be a little rusty. It's been about a month. So we're going to do things a little different tonight. So I appreciate everybody coming out. It's good to see you guys after a month. We've been, unfortunately, I've been traveling a lot for work. And we've been working on getting the second season going. Tonight, we're going to do something a little different. If you can hear my voice, I'm under the weather, but we wanted to be here tonight to talk to our community that we missed dearly. We're going to do some season 1 recap stuff. And we're going to do, we're going to field questions from you guys out there. If you have any questions about the campaign this far, if there's anything you want to know that we can elaborate on more. Maybe what somebody was thinking when they did some kind of action, what I did, why I did something that I did. As long as it's not gonna break future story, I have no problem sharing with you guys. So why don't you start something? I want you guys to start thinking about some questions that you'd like to get and get going. And we'd like to in a couple seconds here, we're gonna get going, and we're gonna talk about season 1 of the Tabletop Tavern. Before we do, there's one thing I'd like to do. And I think I may have just closed the tab because I'm an idiot. No. When we left off, we did a fundraiser. We did a fundraiser and raised money for StackUp.org, which is a great organization. They raise money to take care of our soldiers and U.S. allied veterans. They take them on to conventions. They buy them gaming systems. They do all kinds of things to support them. So as always, I like to show proof that we actually gave the money to them. So if you look at this tweet, here's a response for us donating the money. If you have any questions about the validity of things, I have no problem being 100% transparent. So that is where your money went. It went to stackup.org. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It meant a lot to me. It's very personal for me because of my dad and his time in the service and raising money in his name. But I know it affected a lot of people on this cast too. So we really appreciate everything everybody's done to help out with that fundraiser. And to the people that won stuff during it, congratulations. All the prizes have been given out. One of the Freya Malik declined to take the game and give the money to charity instead. So big kudos there. A couple people got some merch. I'd love to see the pictures of them in merch. So please make that happen. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce this wonderful cast of this production of Tabletop Tavern. We've got Decider 12, otherwise known as Davdithas. He is our Cleric of Lamashtu, right?
Well, yeah, one of those. Lamashtu, Desna.
Cleric of Desna.
At this point.
Yeah.
Davdithas or Decider 12 is a Twitch streamer. You can find him over at twitch.tv/Decider12. And Decider, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. It feels great to be back here. It has been way too long, which I'm sure all of us will echo in that. And yeah, we tried many times to get together during our little break, and it just never came together. So we're all super excited and couldn't be happier.
So, all right, we'll get into that. We've got. I was going to ask you what your character was thinking, but I think we're going to go over that pretty in depth tonight. So
okay.
All right. Gamer Mom Luma, Idabrix. She is a Twitch streamer as well. You can find her over at twitch.tv/GamerMomLuna. Luna, how is your night going?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be back. I'm a little bit wound up right now. I'm trying very hard to contain it.
Dial it back. Dial it
And
back.
I'm trying. Yeah, like Decider said, you know, we tried to get some stuff together during the down weeks, and like the last minute somebody would be like, oh yeah, I was gonna be there and then I wasn't. And we're like, well, okay then. But I've missed everybody like crazy. So I'm super glad to be back.
Excellent. Then we have Mihai. Twitch.tv/YottsTwitch. He is a streamer on Twitch. And you are coming into your streaming season, if I'm not mistaken, Mihai.
That's right. Yeah, I've got a bunch of things I'm working on right now. One of them I'll announce officially later, but starting a podcast with a buddy of mine in town.
Excellent.
That's really
Very
exciting.
cool.
Yeah.
So I've always had a bunch of concepts for stuff, but I've just been busy with that kind of things. But yeah, I'll be it's my snow season coming up soon. So I own a business where I do landscaping, and then being in Canada half the year snow removal. So it keeps me afloat.
You're not trimming the shrubs out there in the middle of the winter?
No, sir. Some dormant pruning, but it's yeah, you don't have to do a whole lot of it now.
You're not out there well, yeah, you would. Never mind. I
am out there plowing, baby.
And you're telling me to dial it back.
No, it's awesome, and I really cherish my free time that I get to do stuff, like, you know, stream on Twitch and hang out with you awesome folks and make new friends.
Excellent.
And I'm so excited to get a little bit of time off to do that.
Excellent. Last but not least, we have twitch.tv/CycloneJack, and the 0 has been removed from his name, who plays our barbarian friend Gunnar on the Tabletop Tavern. So how are we doing tonight, Cyclone Jack?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Things have been progressing. Been having a lot of fun. Lots of streams going on. We just got done doing a sponsored stream with Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. We got in touch with some people. We got hooked up with the game, and we played for a little bit. It was a lot of fun. A little buddy and hinky, but had a good time. And we're prepping for 7 days for the launch of Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries.
There we go.
So that'll be hit up soon. I'm crazy excited about that.
Excellent.
And in his downtime, he's going to be teaching me how to play Mech Warrior, because I have it installed now.
You have it installed?
Mm-hmm.
I just got it installed.
You do the tutorial. Let's start off with the tutorial.
That's what I did. I played the tutorial over the weekend.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. So, guys, my name is Mike. I stream right here at twitch.tv/HowINerd. And I run the Tabletop Tavern. I assembled this all-star cast of people to participate in this wonderful campaign, and I torture them on a weekly basis.
Both in and out of the game.
Oh yeah.
True.
Oh yeah. It definitely bleeds over into real life too.
It absolutely does. I will vouch for that.
You thought Rocks Fall, Everyone Dies was an in-game thing. Oh, you were wrong.
I'm just saying a slingshot is their motivational tool. So, so we, I have been traveling for about a month. I started a new position, and it's if the first year is going to be a little bit rough, but we're going to work together as a team to try and be as consistent as we can with this with the schedule for Tabletop Tavern. If we have to make up a week, we will do so. We will make that happen. I'd like to say a big congratulations to our Decider 12 Davdithas for accepting a new position in life and taking a big step up in his career, in his entry into a tech career. So big shout out to Decider 12.
Thank you. I can't be more excited. I get a little emotional when I talk about it, so I don't want to talk about it too much, because I think, like, in my stream earlier today, I almost cried like 3 times. So I'm good.
I'd like to start by thanking all my fans, everyone who believed in me.
I'd like to thank all the little people.
Just thank you for the letter I received.
So with that, he's going to have some life changes, and he is going to be traveling as well. So again, we will do the best we can to keep this on track. This is we're all very passionate about the Tabletop Tavern, and we're gonna make it work. So the other thing we did is we had started to tease a Monday night game for Neural Nexus Zero, and it is taking a little bit longer than I thought this month, and me starting the new position put a crimp in that. But we are going to be meeting, I believe, tomorrow night or next Monday night. I'm sorry, next Monday night to get that on track as well. So watch for that coming, okay? That's going to be good. That's a cyberpunk campaign, D20 modern set in Boston during the early 80s. So that is going to be a good time. I'm super stoked for it.
You were what, 30 around the 80s
in the 80s?
Boston?
In 1980, I was 2 years old.
Oh, my bad.
So I just want to bring up. I want to bring up something really quick. I just want to bring up something, slightly. We just mentioned that Davdithas, our Decider 12, got a new position, right? I'm just gonna. How do I say this? It's not that I rank higher than him at the same place. It's just that I'm a lot more knowledgeable about this stuff. So when he has a question.
Yeah, I just want to, point out the fact that, I got hired probably on my personality alone, because.
Oh yeah, that was definitely
I believe what they told me was that most of the people higher up have the, I don't know, the personality of like a stone wall. I think they were talking about you.
Probably.
So,
as you guys can see, I have the personality of a fucking stone wall.
Well, you are.
I'm just gonna stay out of this one and see who dies tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Peace.
So Davdithas is tanking. Gunnar can take a back seat.
Right?
Yeah, I got this.
Perfect.
No worries.
This season starts with our first character's death.
Yes. Good call, Wolf's Blood.
It's actually funny because I play a game, Starfinder, actually in person with a couple friends of mine, and my character actually just died this week. So
you remember that feeling? Do you remember that feeling when that happened?
Yeah. I'm ready for more. So you might as well just lay it on. Lay it on.
Just get it ready.
It's fine. Yeah, I'm ready for
The
it.
first one always hurts the most.
It did. It was tragic. We played sad songs. We cried. It's good.
We laughed. We loved. We lived.
Did you drink wine and eat chocolate raw cookie dough? Is that how you do?
That's what he did on his stream today.
There was wine. There was no cookie dough, but there was wine.
Also, guys, I'd like to share a comment from one of our Patreon subscribers that hit us about, I don't know, like a half hour ago. That meant a lot to all of us, and this is it's a recent accolade. And it meant
Acolyte.
and it meant a lot to us, so I want to read it to the community. Hey Mike, etc. all, just wanted to say that the show has been awesome. Got my own new job that has been kicking my butt up and down every which way to Sunday, and I don't have no one to cast cure moderate wounds on me. See, I learned a thing. The series has been an amazing morale boost whenever I just need to break down and get away from everything. So I just wanted to thank you all for putting on an amazing show. Just finished season 1 a few moments ago and can't wait for what's next. Thanks all. I gotta be honest, it kind of took us aback. We were doing the pre-show and Luna saw it before all of us and she brought us to our attention. So Appy Yip Yip, thank you so much for that comment. This is a labor of love for us. We do this because we love it. We love nerding out. We love playing together, and we love putting on this production. And we definitely have a lot of fun doing this. And when you guys pour that energy, when you guys give us that energy, when we get to borrow that energy from you guys, it makes it all that much more better. We're just 5 nerds trying to have some fun and hoping that everybody else enjoys it. So when we see a comment like that, it's a big morale boost for us. So thank you so much. So guys, start thinking about your questions. I'm going to start engaging the cast on, we're going to go back and we're going to talk about season 1. We're going to do a little less of the game tonight, and just because I'm sick and I'm out of it, and we want to give you guys what you deserve, which is quality production. So we're gonna do a little bit later, but I want to go back and talk about the first season, and I'm gonna throw out some questions there, and you guys think about any questions you have. And moderators and cast, if you see a question, could you please just bring it to my attention if I'm rambling like a moron. So I'd like to start. My first question for the cast is I would like you to think back to when I first had this idea and I approached everybody about it, and what your thoughts were, and how the thoughts, what you thought about going into it, how you thought it would go, and you know, where is it now compared to where you thought you would be in the beginning. So let's start with Luna.
Of course. So I was the only one in the group that didn't already know everybody else in the group when we first got started. And my conversation with Mike happened entirely on a whim. It was one of those like, hey, this is something I'm thinking about doing. Hey, yeah, I'd love to be involved with that if you need somebody else. And then the rest is history. And I remember thinking, like, the first time we were going to get together, I was like, oh my God, these guys are going to know so much more than me. I've only been playing TTRPGs for about 11 years, and I don't know enough to do this on stream. And I was so nervous, and I was so anxiety ridden. And then we got together, and I was like, this is going to be cake, man. You know, and I think immediately after that first meeting, for me, it was all like, it was just a matter of like making sure that I felt like I was going to gel well with everybody. And I think we really do. You know, we have a lot of behind the scenes conversations, a lot of one-on-one conversations, random drunk messages from people.
So just to butt in for a quick second, Luna is talking about the fact that I was in the airport in Seattle, pre-gaming for the flight. So that I could sleep on the flight. So I was 5 20-ounce beers deep, Founders Breakfast Stout. We're looking for a sponsor, so Founders, there you go.
Yeah.
I was 5 deep in messaging Luna and asking her questions about a couple things, and I don't think it was
something that I don't remember exactly what you said, but there was something that made me go, "How many drinks in are you?" But no, it's always all in good fun, and you know, I'm so glad that we had that conversation.
Yeah. Good. Anything else?
I love you guys.
Aww.
I missed you all the last 4 weeks.
Luna, so one of the questions we got from one of the cops is, how did everybody meet before the Tabletop Tavern? So I feel like this is a good point for you to, you know, as we go forward, you guys can answer that question, because that's it. Ties into this very closely.
Yeah.
So how do we meet Idabrix?
So like I said, I didn't know anybody else other than Mike, and I only knew Mike a very little bit, just kind of in passing, because we both attend PAX East every year. And so we met through a PAX East fan page that Mike also runs, and that was pretty much it. So yeah.
Excellent.
I didn't know anybody.
Who's next? Who should I put on the spot next? Let's go with Davdithas.
If I stay completely still, maybe he won't notice me.
He's not a dinosaur.
He's old enough
He
to
might
be
be.
one.
Say it's based on movement.
Yes.
Anyway.
Remember that conversation about 5 minutes ago?
What were you, like, a million in the 80s?
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
me and that other person that we know are gonna have fun with you at work. Just saying. I'm just saying.
It's gonna be a blast. I know I'm gonna be the rookie, and it's gonna be hell for me. I can't wait.
Cawthon says, "Hey Mike, you have an open spot in your campaign now?"
Yes.
Yes.
Apply with him.
So yeah, to start off with, as far as like how we met, I originally met Mike, how I nerd, randomly after one of my streams. I decided to raid someone, you know, And he happened to be playing MechWarrior Online, which I was a big player of, and I just happened to raid him and, said my hellos and everything. He was a really cool guy. It just kind of took off from there. Yeah. And, he kind of hit me back with the love, I hit him back again, and we just kind of started talking. Eventually, he started putting together a group, and I was like, yeah, hey, I'm interested. He's like, awesome, I'll let you know. And he let me know, and here I am. So it all worked out, and it's been great. As far as what my expectations were when we started, I knew this had such fantastic potential. One, to just be a fantastic time with the crew here, playing, having fun, and I didn't have much Dungeons & Dragons experience. It's something I always wanted to get into, so it fulfilled a lifetime want for me. So it's just been nothing but a pleasure to be a part of this.
So what you're saying is I fulfilled your fantasies.
God damn it.
I
can't even disagree. That's the worst part. I have to agree with that statement.
So what you're saying is that all of us fulfilled your fantasies, me especially.
At the same time?
At the same
At
time.
the same time.
I forgot I have somewhere to be tonight. I hate you. I hate you so much.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's just this rage inside of me I can't quell. It's just hard. It's hard. I try so hard. Anyway. I think that answers all the questions, right?
Cawthon, TOS violation incoming.
All right, let's go to Mihai.
Okay, so I'm a man who believes in honesty. So here's the real story of how I first met your mother. Okay, so me and Cletus and Stormbringer.
Cletus the fighting
fetus. Yeah. Stormbringer 808, Stormbringer Bob, and Master Darkweaver Leroy. We're all hanging out, and it was pretty loaded, and like we're just like drinking and shooting the shit. I don't even think we were gaming. We were just like hanging out in Discord. And Cletus was like, "Oh my god, guys, have you seen this streamer?" And I was like, who? Like, comatose at my keyboard. And he's like, dude, click the fucking link. The guy has a little mech and his webcam is in it. And it's amazing.
He did.
And so I went there, and then we spent the rest of the night loaded in Mike's chat.
helping me out because I was brand new.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, man, that was pretty wild. I gotta get in touch with that fella, and somehow we ended up connecting and talking about the D&D stuff eventually.
Tell him when we're really connected. When you had song requests.
Oh, we were talking about punk rock. Yeah, you eventually found your way into one of my streams, and I was playing No Effects. And the Bruise. Did you request it, or did it just come on?
Yep.
Or
yep.
Yeah. So the Bruise started playing, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, I used to cover this song with my high school band. And Mike was like, I fucking dig this song. Obviously he requested it, and so we started talking about Fat Mike and the other Fat Mike. The whole like 90s punks. Like Fat Mike from No Effects, the other Fat Mike. No, but we just started talking about punk and like kind of grooving on that, and then I'd go into his song requests and fill it up with shitty old punk songs, and he did the same to me. It was fucking awesome. So he eventually asked me about the D&D stuff, and I really didn't know what to think, because I guess to kind of echo Luna, I was pretty like anxious about like, oh sure, this sounds fun, but like I'm gonna make a fucking fool of myself, because I was like, dude, I've never played before. He was kind of like, it's fine, like, because there are gonna be people in the audience who've never played. So really, it's a learning experience for everyone, and it will be fine. It'll be good to have that aspect of it too.
Yep.
So that was a little bit reassuring. The first night I met Luna, like I already knew Jack obviously from Mac, and Decider from Mac as well, and hanging out with Mike's streams. But the first night I met Luna, I was at my brother's house at a party, and we all webcammed it. Like I just held up my phone.
I remember
like
that.
A big
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
I remember it.
Because I was at my brother's house. He was having a party. I was home for the weekend. So I just tuned in, and I was like, again, you know, I was like, oh shit, like I hope we gel. I hope she's cool. I hope she doesn't hate my stupid sense of humor.
If anything, I enable
we all
his
get
stupid
along
sense
and
of
like
humor.
each other.
This is true.
That's
It was-
definitely true.
This is very true.
After that meeting, I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, this is gonna be fine. Like, we're all totally gelling. Everything's cool. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
But I still doubt myself nightly.
Well, that's good. That's good.
You should.
Yeah, but I just
You
got to
should.
keep it real, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
I'll
All
die
right.
eventually. It will be really cool.
We'll make
In
it
the
a
game,
six-
too.
You
We'll make
came
it
really close.
we'll
You came really close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cycle and Jack.
So I knew Yachts off and on, kind of in passing, from the MechWarrior directory, another MechWarrior streamer, and just like Mike, I connected with Yachts with music, ska, punk, the whole 9 yards. We hit it off. We started chatting music like immediately, and all of our same like viewers like coincided and commingled together. So it was like it was one big party, and Yachts is one of those really likable, really chill dudes. So the two of us just hit it off. We just started playing
That's
Nex
way
and
too
hanging
nice.
out and shooting the shit together, and it was fucking awesome. So that's how I met Yachts. I was actually celebrating my father's passing, and I was doing a silent stream, bringing up vets without voices and veterans that couldn't or didn't know where to get help. And I think I was on like hour like 5 or 6, and Mike was finishing off his stream, and he raided me. And I had all my mods responding, going crazy, because at that point we already had a chunk of people coming in, and here comes this big raid from Mike. And Mike immediately sees me, sees the message that I'm trying to put out there, all the information, and hosts me up and immediately donates subs, starts throwing bits, and the whole community just kind of like went nuts together. And Mike and I talked afterwards, and he told me about his pops, and we went back and forth about my family and what it was like to be, you know, growing up in a military household, and our love for MechWarrior. And I had just started a little stream team called Mech Pilots United, and I was like, dude, I love your production. You love MechWarrior. You stream. You gotta join. And Mike and I have been kind of friends ever since. Decider I met in passing here and there. I had heard the name. I didn't really know him too well, but I had passed by his stream a couple times, and he seemed, again, like he had that humor, that like that smirk, that kind of, that just made me want to smile and laugh. So Decider was always kind of there. I didn't get a chance to meet Luna till, again, we brought the cast together on conference calls, and Luna was just sweet, and she was bubbly, and you could tell she was a little nervous, and she was awesome peoples. It was just, it was a hit off right quick. And it's kind of funny because I had applied to be part of the cast, and I wasn't even one of the original members that got the email. I had gotten told from another friend of mine, who was originally going to be invited to be on the cast, that she couldn't make it. She was like, I think they were talking about you. You should hit up Mike. And Mike's like, yeah, I didn't get a chance to message you yet, dude. You're totally in. And I'm like, oh, okay. And one thing led to another, and here I am on the Tabletop Tavern, and I look back and I was like, you know what, this is going to be cool. I get to meet some new people. I get to really hang out outside of MechWarrior and outside everything else, and play D&D. I haven't done tabletop role playing in a while, but I mean, like, I got into gaming when I was like 11 or 12 because of my cousin, and it had been like a gap of like 2 or 3 years. So I was like, this is going to be awesome. So one thing led to another, and here we are.
Awesome. So I'll give you guys a little bit insight to me, and how I got there, like how I, started things, and why I reached out to the people that I did. So I was streaming. I did a lot of variety stream for a while, and it was really fun, and it was a lot of really good people. And I met a lot of these, the people in the stream here through that. A lot of our community, you guys know, you guys have watched me played MechWarrior and other games, the Raft and everything. But I was looking for something, something community oriented, that I could get the cast involved as well as a community. For me, one of the biggest things about this is in gaming in general is to keep those connections with people that I wouldn't necessarily be able to sit down and play games with, face to face. Like we're spread, we're spread out pretty far. except for me and Luna, we're in driving distance. But otherwise, like, you know, the internet has been great as far as like, you know, meeting new people, and like that's one of the things I get off on in this life is meeting new people, finding, you know, rad nerds. But the community, I wanted the community, the people that we had met. Oh, Scotty's from Boston. Awesome.
Bostoner.
Yeah. I grew up 45 minutes. You should join our Discord, Scotty, so we can talk. So for me, it was something like I was streaming and I was thinking about it, and I was like, what can I do to bring more of a sense of community and a more with a game that people get attached, you know, would get attached to and like learn to love and progressively. And you know, the thought dawned on me about, you know, D&D in general. I didn't know at that time what system I want to play. I prefer Pathfinder, but there's so many good systems out there. And I'm actually, I will go into that later. But I wanted something the community could be involved in, and I wanted to build a relationship with other people out there and have that fun, you know, online. You know, at the time I was playing a weekly game with my group that I've been playing for 15 years. But there's something to be said about refreshing that and meeting new people and, you know, trying out something new. And I hadn't DM'd in years, so I'm like, fuck it, I can DM, you know? So I started looking into things, and I don't do anything half-assed. So if I do it right. I take a
whole ass.
Yeah, whole ass.
Whole ass.
We go whole ass.
1.5-assed. So I started talking to One Up MG about, you know, designing some of the graphics, and I got that kind of stuff going, and I got the, I looked at the infrastructure part of things first, rather than the cast, because I wanted to make sure that if, what's the point in chasing down cast and getting everybody's hopes up if I couldn't make it look or make it act like how I wanted it to. So I put about a month and a half, probably close to 2 months into some of the production side of things. Infrastructure, made sure the program, I owned Fantasy Grounds at that point, but I had to get the DM version with modules and games and stuff, and rule sets and stuff like that. So monetarily wise, it took me a little while to get going. But then I got to the point where I'm like, okay, well, this is going to match my vision, this kind of thing. And now we have to find people that would also see that vision as well as contribute to it and enhance it. I say enhance it. I'm going to give you a prime example. When Davdithas decided was one of the first persons I thought about when it came to this, because I wanted, he has a great sense of humor. Yeah, I was like,
you wanted a lightning rod is what you wanted.
All right. So I wanted somebody with a great sense of humor and somebody who is always positive and upbeat no matter what. And he is. And let's face it, he is. He has brought such a great level of humor to this game. And he makes me laugh constantly. I go back and watch the videos and I fucking crack myself up, or like he cracks me up.
Ninja Turtle.
The turtle.
I can't tell you how many times I go back and listen to I'll listen to the podcasts of the episodes on my drive because I commute an hour each way. Oh my God. I'm like, I was part of this and I was there for this and I'm still laughing hysterically.
I was literally in fucking tears. Like I love if somebody can get me to the point where I'm like wheezing, and you know what I mean? Like, just, it was fucking great. So that was initially what attracted me to bringing Davdithas onto the show. So Mihai, we had, like I said, we had to connect very well. We talk a lot. We talk a lot offline about everything from politics to fucking whatever. We talk about a lot of shit, cars, you know, and when I approached him, the thing I wanted, and he said it earlier, is the fact that he didn't have that much experience, but he's a smart dude. So I know he could pick up on it. And to go back to the community, I wanted somebody, I want, and I still want, no matter how much experience, you know, Mihai gets, I want when people come into the stream to feel comfortable with asking questions. I don't ever want this to be the type of community where somebody gets belittled for asking a question about it, because we look shit up on nightly basis in here, but we have fun. Like, that's the big thing. So Mihai had impressed me, or Yachts had impressed me about, his ability to pick things up, and we just clicked. You know what I mean? There's some people in this life that just clicked, and we clicked very well. And he said he'd be willing to come on, and I got super excited because I worked with him on his character. We all worked together on the characters and stuff, but like, he showed a genuine interest. He his first backstory was like 7 pages. It was phenomenal, and I'm like, it was just great.
Was intense.
It was great,
I surprised myself. I thought, how am I ever gonna do this? And then I just started writing, and I was like,
and it came out amazing.
Happened.
It came out amazing. Yeah.
It was fun.
So yeah, that's how and we had a lot of people apply. We had 17 people apply for slots on the show. So then Jack, like I said, Jack was doing he obviously has a heavy focus on first responders, military, veterans, law enforcement, and that was what me and him gelled over, like guns, like being outdoors, all that kinds of stuff. But like, he's got such a strong personality that comes through on stream very well, and like from serious to big fucking teddy bear, and like he's we all have that friend, you know what I mean, that that we just have a blast with. So that's what I saw in Jack, and I knew he'd play, he had some TTRPG experience, so it was good to have a veteran on the team that could help the other players and mold them and grow, it was, when he agreed to come on, it was just fucking awesome. No, I did not want you on the team, Cawthon. Absolutely fucking not.
That's why we give you the mod sword.
Yeah, that's why you got the sword, man. And he has he has brought so much to the show. Everybody has, but it's and then Luna, like I said, so my favorite convention of all time is PAX East Boston, and me and a friend of mine, George, we run a PAX East appreciation page. It's like a fan page for PAX East. We do like giveaways when it comes down to PAX. One of us usually ends up with an extra pass, so we just give it away to the community. We do like a buying, selling pass thing, and we don't allow people to scalp. The max you can upcharge is $5 for shipment. So Luna became a part of that, and, semi-local, so I had put something up in the group there too, and that's how she applied. So we got to talking, and although she was very shy in the beginning, she has very much come out of her shell and is integral to this community, as you all know. She has taken on the role of community manager and has fucking killed that role. The Discord community grows on constantly. The level of engagement that she, and the time she puts into to foster the RP channel, to foster our Discord community, and just generally be a good person to everybody that steps into that room is fucking rad. So I definitely appreciate it. I think I made a very good choice when it came to all 4 people in here. It was and it was fun to see for me, and I've said this before, it's fun to see in the beginning we're all a little nervous, you know what I mean? Like, I would say, there was a little level of nervous there. But Idabrix has come out of her shell. Davdithas, whatever the fuck, but
I think Yachts and I dealt with our nervousness the same way.
Drink more?
Yeah.
Just being super awkward and getting loaded.
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy.
Hey, fuck yeah. Where'd my beer go?
So
I'll just take another sip from my water bottle. Thank you very much.
Filled with wine.
Water bottle.
Nope, legit water
Vodka
today.
Vodka bottle, exactly, Yachts.
My vodka bottle.
I'm just gonna say this right now. So if you're not part of our Discord community, you need to be part of the Discord community, because as much fun as we have here online, we have a lot of fun offline as well. So join our Discord today, TM, and I can't do the ding, but join our Discord and become part of the extended family. So from there, we did a lot of meetings,
Yeah.
But the
It
joke
was months of setup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like
a
2 or
lot.
3 months, wasn't it?
Yep. And the jokes just started flying, right? And the
yeah.
chemistry was very evident from very early on that this was going to go very well. People were going to gel, really well. We knew it was going to take time to, iron out learning the system, iron out learning Pathfinder, because not everybody had experience with Pathfinder. But like we started having a lot more fun, and as we did things, we did a pre-campaign, we put, Christ, I don't know, we put a couple hundred hours into audio. Me and Yachts were researching programs, what's the best programs to use, audio levels, calibrated.
Discord.
Yeah.
Luna, you're
Fuck
too
off.
quiet. Luna, you're too quiet. Luna, you're too quiet.
So I think Davdithas or Decider wants to say something real quick.
Oh no, I just coughed. Sorry, my cough sounded a lot like me suggesting we use Discord from the start. But I mean, that was just that was such a weird cough.
So
Anyway,
now,
go on. Sorry.
No. I'm gonna let you explain. I'm gonna let you explain this one.
Oh, you want me to explain why I suggested Discord from the start?
Yeah.
Oh, so Discord has a lot of great audio features built into it, such as noise gates. It has.
I feel like we're in a mid-roll ad right now.
Yeah, right.
If you're looking for a great video conferencing program, try Discord. Discord has a wide selection of features, such as noise gating and also volume adjustment per client. So you got that one guy who always screams into the mic, just turn him down a bit. You got that one Luna on your team who you can barely hear, pump her up.
200%.
200%.
100%.
100%.
That's right. Get your Discord now today for free at www.discord.com.
Discord.
Okay, so if Discord's watching right now.
Discord, if you're
Tabletop
watching,
Tavern.
we're also looking for a sponsor. So.
Yeah.
Partner
Yeah, by the
Discord
way.
channel when?
So we had done a lot of research on different programs because there's a couple other programs that were industry standard when it came to podcast, but they didn't work for us because of attenuation reasons, and we need to be able to like interrupt each other and not have it cut off. Because when I was speaking as the call owner, it was stomping on everybody else, so they weren't able to interrupt, and they need to be. If from there it was audio, as you guys know, or if you don't know, it's also a podcast. We also do this as a podcast, so that we had to learn like redundancy, and me having the IT background, that I wanted redundancy in case we lost it somewhere. I didn't want a gap in the story out in podcast land, so I had to learn audio mastering. I had to learn, come up with solutions for backing up the audio. But after a long research part, we came back to Discord and started and used Discord. Fuck you, Dave. And just yeah. So we I'm gonna say we have a big. It's not just the 5 of us in this. We owe a lot. We owe a lot to a lot
We're
of
the
people.
tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys see us, but you don't see all the work that our moderators and stuff do, and our support staff.
Yep.
Our
It
and
is
even just
insane.
members of the community that help us stay motivated and ask us questions outside of even people that are like, hey, why did Idabrix do X, Y, and Z? And it's like, shit, I don't really know why I did it that way. Like it's kind of a great way to keep us on our toes too. Yeah. Yes, Cawthon, even you.
Yes, Cawthon, even you, sir. So our
All of our staff and Cawthon.
all of our staff and Cawthon. I just want to put it out there. We are looking for a couple people that would like to assist us with moderation and community building. So if you have any interest in that, please ping Luna, Idabrix. You can find her on Discord, or you can find her here in the channel. Just mention something, she'll reach out to you. I'd like to get a couple more people that help us out, so that our mods, the mods that we do use don't have to be here every single week. Everybody's got lives, and we appreciate everybody.
Families.
Mike, they
Family.
signed that contract though.
I know, in blood, in twice.
True.
So
Someone told me there'd be cake. That's the only reason I signed.
The cake is a lie.
The cake is definitely a fucking lie.
All right, well, fine, but what about the 10-pound bag of protein I was promised?
I'll send you one of those.
Straight protein.
Right? You didn't say what kind of protein, so be expectant for anything.
Oh, this is going
Straight
bad
protein.
quick. This is getting ugly quick.
I don't know why I'm laughing so hard. There's nothing humorous.
Well, you're speaking.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, burn.
Wow.
Ooh, sick burn, brah.
Wow.
As he empties his bottle.
Oh, as he empties the Johnny Walker Black.
This is what you do to me.
You make me drink.
Yep. It's all your fault.
Look what you made me do. All right, so
Mother
let's.
doesn't love you.
So there was a question from Wolf's Blood about the character sheets, and that's one thing that I was trying to get done, and I have not done yet. I have 2 weeks before I leave again, so maybe I can pound that out, and that's get the character sheets up on from 1 to what are we, level 4 now?
We're level 4
Yep,
now.
4.
Okay, so yeah, maybe we can get those up in the next week and a half or 2 weeks, because people have expressed interest in seeing the progression of the characters, and like like Luna is going to take one of every class level, so
It's my goal. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
trying to get every skill available, actually. I'm almost there.
Catch 'em all.
For her next trick.
Right.
Well, I know there was actually a level that I wanted to take that would kind of combine a couple of these, but it's not available in Fantasy Grounds, so I couldn't do it.
What is it?
Oh my gosh, what was it called?
Scout.
The Scout.
Maybe it's in a rule set that we could buy.
I was gonna
maybe.
say, yeah, just
We
might
were,
need to purchase another book.
Cawthon, could you check on that to see if the what book set that comes from, and see if we can buy that?
For level 4, Luna and I were talking a lot about character progression and where we wanted to take Idabrix and Gunnar.
Yeah.
And the two of them have become very, very close. Whether you all have seen us in the RP channels or even in game or even talking off on the side, there's been a lot of training and a lot of talking and a lot of getting together. And one of the things that kind of fit really well for Idabrix was the Scout class. It was like a combination of like Rogue meets Barbarian meets Fighter. And it really kind of jives really well. We were looking at it. The only thing we could really find the rule set in was on the website, the Fantasy Grounds Pathfinder SR20.org or whatever it was called.
Yeah, the SRD.
And,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was a really cool class. It was really, really well put together. But we couldn't directly find it in a book.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of, it's a lot of the same kind of sneak attack, uncanny dodge. It's like a good cross between a rogue and a ranger. And then there's, at level 8, they get something called skirmish. So it replaces the uncanny dodge ability, and so it's pretty cool. There's a lot of really neat stuff in there.
Okay. Cawthon, if you didn't hear me, if you could if you're here, if you could look up and see what book that comes from, the Scout class, and see if it's purchasable in Fantasy Grounds, we'll take a look at that. Purchasable.
You can sit on it. Yeah.
New word. Words are hard.
Words
It's okay.
Words are hard.
I'm seeing some questions come in here. Bat Duck has asked.
Well, hold on one
I'll
sec.
just ask it to all you guys. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, Mike.
We were gonna queue up the questions. I'm looking in the staff room, and we're gonna drop them in as they seem applicable.
Okay.
I'm a jerk.
So I guess you're not getting hint. No.
and we're gonna get all the questions done tonight, so don't worry about that. So so the character sheets, like I mentioned, we're gonna get them about the website. If you guys haven't been to our website, it's tabletoptavern.live. It has information about the players up there, and it has our merch store. So if you want to check out get some of that,
The merch is rad.
The merch
If you
is
have merch,
awesome.
if you have merch in the channel, can you talk about how much you like it in chat? Because I've gotten some feedback on it. So Yachts and I did, with sort of the blessing of everybody else, did a really informal Halloween giveaway.
It's like the night before.
It was like the night before. We were like, we should do a giveaway.
We should do a pumpkin contest.
Yeah.
Oh my god, costumes.
And so we had 2 people win T-shirts, which was awesome. Zamboni Girl and Mac Jackal Ranger both won T-shirts from that. We had
Congrats,
some
you guys
merch.
rock.
Yeah. We had a couple people that won shirts from the season finale.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I heard from Port G who won a sweater, one of the hoodies,
Yeah.
and says it's phenomenal.
I love my hoodie. I love it.
I gotta order myself a hoodie.
They are.
Yeah,
I
as a matter
live
of
in
fact-
mine when I'm not at work. I was gonna have mine on tonight actually, but the color washed me out and it made me look funny. So
Okay.
As a matter of fact, he texted me today and he said, my Tabletop Tavern sweatshirt is my on-set outfit for when we're in cold weather while we're filming for our new show, Whiskey and Wings, in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Nice.
Shout out for his new show.
Nice.
nice.
Yeah.
We'll have to. I want to check that out.
Yeah.
Wings is one of my passions, so let's do this.
Whiskey's one of mine.
Yeah,
We can combine it.
I
We
like
can combine
food.
it. Put us together with
Whiskey
almost
and
like
wings.
yeah. There we go. So one of the questions that came in. Yeah, let's save that one for the end because we're gonna recap the season. The character bio. So one thing we wanted to do. I had everybody send me the character bio so I could have a backstory to work with everybody. I wanted. So here's the short answer. The short answer is no. We're not going to release those directly because fucking no. I'm not even coherent tonight, guys.
Are you drinking?
I'm not even
on,
drinking.
man.
This is just tired and getting sick. So here's the reason. We want those backstories to come out organically. We want pieces of them to come out during regular gameplay. And we want you guys to discover, those pieces. Some of those pieces of their backstories are going to play out till like level 16. So I don't want to just put that out there as just like, I want those to come out organically because they're going to be integral to the story. So
Yeah, there will be major spoilers if we release them. So
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
point.
yeah.
And I have to say,
And like
from
we don't know each other's, which is
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Yeah, we don't.
it's from a player's point of view, it's really fun how we kind of are learning about each other.
We
very
like prod each
organically.
other every once in a while, being like, "Did I just?" Yeah,
I'll be honest though. Brief spoiler: a lot of people know a lot more about Gunnar than they realize.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I don't.
And actually, what I will say to do a little shout out for the RP channel is, I don't drop a ton of information about Idabrix in there that's not already come out in game, but if you have been in the RP channel, you have gotten some tidbits of her backstory that you may not have seen come out yet in like family history and things like that you would not have seen come out yet in the stream.
I wish there was a better way, and maybe this is something we can look into to export that so that people could read it.
I
Different
legit
stuff.
had somebody ask. My best friend is a writer and teacher, but a writer also, and she has actually asked if she could take our RP channel and edit it down.
That'd be great. That'd be phenomenal.
I was like, yeah, I think that would be okay.
Yeah.
That would be great. Me and you and her should have a conversation offline.
We should, yes, because you know who she is as well.
Yeah. I
Yep.
would like to. I have some ideas, and so that we should work on that.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun. We have some really fun stuff that has happened in there, just adventures and
Yep.
Crazy madhouse stuff that other viewers have taken us on and things
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the other questions is why Pathfinder for one of the cops. So I'll give you my why Pathfinder. It's the system I know the best. I've been playing TTRPG since actual D&D, where you had to make the dice. You had to put the dice together when you got the the game. I've been playing that long. Out of all the systems I've played, I played Tabletop. I played Pathfinder the longest, and I knew it best. So coming from a DM perspective, it's a system I was most comfortable with. So that's why I decided on Pathfinder. And then, the other, I think everybody else on the team kind of signed on. It's very, Gunnar had played 3.5 or 3.0?
I played a lot of 3.5.
Yeah.
I was part of the living campaign for Wizards of the Coast for a very long time. and became a part of the Triad running games all up and down the East Coast. So I knew 3.5 like the back of my hand, and Pathfinder was almost literally a direct carbon copy minus a chunk of rules here and there. So
Yep.
I was totally okay with it.
Aluna, have you ever had experience with Pathfinder before this?
Pathfinder, no. I've played 3.5 though. That was how I started in D&D.
Okay. What about Yachts? You didn't play. You haven't played Pathfinder.
No, I've never played any Dungeons and Dragons, any tabletop role-playing games at all. You guys took my D&D flower.
I feel dirty.
And somebody was concerned about TOS before?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Mike, we did get information back about that class for Luna.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's actually not in a book. It's homebrew.
Okay.
It's a homebrew class that was literally edited and cobbled together and modified by a bunch of different people on that website.
Okay.
And it's like an unofficial class because it met like a group approval. So
Okay.
Ah, bummer. That's all right. I've kind of finagled it together with what I have.
bunch of cross class and we got what we wanted.
Nice. Nice. Decider, did you play Pathfinder before this?
So I don't know what I played. So back in high school, my buddy had played D&D and we did about 2 sessions, and I don't know what it was at the time because I wasn't that well versed in it. And that was all the experience I had. Actually,
Okay.
I take that back because I played about 8 sessions of BattleTech role playing,
Okay.
and that was really the only experience I had recently.
Okay.
So yeah, it was more or less all new to me.
Okay. All right. Cool. But you do now have experience with Starfinder, which is
Now I do, but
Okay.
I actually started the Starfinder after we started Pathfinder.
Oh, I
'cause
thought it
once we
was-
started this. Yeah, no, they started around the same time. We were about 2 episodes into Tabletop Tavern by the time I started Starfinder. So, yeah, Pathfinder was my first one. Yeah. Are you disappointed? You
No.
seem disappointed.
no. Well, I mean, you are a disappointment, but
We love you anyway.
keep trying. Keep trying.
Aww.
At
me.
least you tried.
Mommy's little mistake, something like that. I don't know.
Ouch.
So we had a question from Bat Duck, and it's he says, probably Mike, the game thingy map overlay thingamabarber. What is that? So
Very specific.
Exactly. I'm gonna go over to one of the other screens for a second. So
Oh no.
So what we use is Fantasy Grounds. So Fantasy Ground is a framework for RPGs, TTRPGs. It has built-in rule sets, and you can import maps and campaigns and modules. And for those of you who haven't, or maybe in here new tonight who haven't seen it, this is our typical setup. So the overlay elements, 99% of them were, excuse me, 1UP MG. He flushed my vision out, and it came out very well, if I do say so myself. But as you can see, you can roll dice. What I do, I typically, you guys don't see the whole program. I do a screen capture for the chat panel, where people roll dice and where the results for those dice come up, and I do a screen capture for the map that everybody sees, so that you guys can see those elements. But there's other things on the screen I don't want you guys to see, because I don't want to ruin the story for you, quite frankly. Now, one of the negatives about doing it this way is you guys, I guess I wouldn't call it a negative. Sometimes you guys will see where an enemy is hidden on the map, or you'll get to see a little bit of anticipation that something's coming. And I hope that doesn't break it too much for people. But I also have people approach me and say that that's fun. I'm gonna go back to the other screen so that we.
I think it's important to point out, in case someone's not familiar, we as the players do not see that stuff.
Yes, correct.
So
Yeah.
you're seeing Mike's point of view as the dungeon master, and we are completely in the dark as we're playing.
Yeah.
That's why you'll hear him say things like, oh, I need to open up that part of the map for you, because we can't see what's coming. So if we go around a corner, he's like, oh, wait, I have to open up that part of the map. We literally come around the corner and it's like there's nothing.
Yeah, it's just nothing
Yeah.
on our
It's like a
end.
blank screen.
Yep.
So
Yep. So you can do like Fog of War type stuff. You can so you can release that. You can you can control what they see, with the fog of war, and so what you guys are seeing a lot more than what the average person sees. So it's kind of cool. Let's see what other questions we have. When will there be Mihai merch? It gets cold here in Canada, and we'll need some sweaters. So I kind of feel like a jerk. I kind of feel like a jerk. I got some really good ideas, especially for Idabrix and Gunnar. Davdithas is okay. But I would like. Hey,
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's all right.
So why don't we do this? We have some talented people in the community. We have a great, great community. Why don't we just do a contest? Let's run a contest for the next couple weeks. And we need t-shirt ideas and designs for Mihai and Davdithas, or any other merch that you guys want to put in. And I'll tell you what, the person who does a design, who comes up with a design that we pick for Davdithas, and the person who does a design that we come up with for Mihai, we'll give them $25 gift cards of your choice, whether it be Amazon or Steam or whatever. Would it sound good?
Or merch.
I was gonna say,
merch.
if they wanted, maybe we could like hook them up with a merch with their design on it.
Yeah, that works. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was gonna say, Mike, do you wanna talk about the night that you, me, and Luna were hanging out and decided to put together the merch?
Now you gotta refresh my memory because I'm spacing.
So me and Luna
So
were
you
hanging
were
out in Discord, and we were just kind of shooting the shit. I think it was like late one night.
Oh,
and
I'm
we were
sure
just
it
kinda hanging
was.
out. And Luna couldn't sleep, and I was doing one of my I can't sleep insomnia things, because we all know that Jack doesn't sleep. And we started coming up with different ideas, and we were like, we should make merch. And I'm like, all right, let me hit up Mike. I'll toss him a message, tell him an idea. We got an idea for merch. And Mike, like in a heartbeat, messages me back and goes, hey, what's going on, dude? And I'm like, we have ideas. And he's like, oh, dude, I love ideas. What do you got? And like within like 2 minutes, we had him in the Discord. And we're literally rattling off ideas. And as we start, like, Luna and I are literally just spitballing back and forth. And Mike gets eerily quiet. And that's when Mike's like up to no good. He's got like something in the works.
He's already
He started opening up programs, setting up graphic design and shit. And Luna's like, oh, dude, we got to do a shirt for Gunnar that says, this is why we burn our dead. And then like 2 minutes later, Mike's like this.
Yeah.
So like literally
one of our most popular designs.
Yeah. So like literally like, and I'm like, oh, we got to do a Idabrix shirt. And Mike's like, oh, like this.
And then he's like, oh wait, you have custom art for Idabrix, don't you? And I'm like, yes, I do. And he's like, could you send me that file? And boom, like shirt.
Like it was 45 minutes of like the three of us spitballing and talking like merch ideas, and it flowed like water. We did the squee for Prez. We did a bunch of other shirts and a bunch of other designs and thoughts. We did the logo, and it was like everything just kind of came forward. And Mike and his like amazing talent and ideas just took everything that Luna and I kind of like spat at him and just threw it right in front of us. And it was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
No, wait, that was amazing. No, that was amazing. Each one we were like, that's even better than the last one.
Oh my God, we want one of those. And then like in a matter of like, what was it, like 2 hours?
Yeah.
The merch store was like born. That was it. It was done. We had thrown together so many different ideas. And it's funny too, because I remember talking, we were like, all right, well, the decider, we got like 1 or 2 ideas for him.
Yeah.
And then we all kind of stared at each other and we're like, what are we going to do for Mihai? And I was like, we could do like a cunning hat shirt. And we were like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but what are we? And we all started feeling really bad because we had all these really cool ideas for like Gunnar and for Idabrix. We had a couple cool ideas for Davdithas. We had a couple ideas just for the brand in general. And then we were like, fuck, what are we going to do for Mihai?
So
yeah,
man, he's just so unremarkable.
That's still where we are. Mike, just a thought, maybe what we'll do, like what Yachts and I did for the Halloween one, we'll set up a channel in Discord for it, and then people can throw all their entries right in there.
Gotcha. I missed everything you said because I was reading chat.
Squee has a
I'm
shirt and Mihai doesn't. That's because Squee's a better character. Oh fuck.
Squee's not even a PC.
Oh god. Oh, that's one thing I'd like
Season
to hit
2
on.
starting tonight.
Yeah, Euro Ed, we're unofficially starting season 2 tonight.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do, we're not doing it as long as we typically would do it, Eured, because I am a little under the weather and a little cooked, but we're gonna get into the story, I would say, after the break. We'll do the last hour and a half as story, but we wanted to give a chance for people to we wanted to give some backstory on the show and more information, some behind the scenes information about everything. And so guys, yeah, we're gonna Luna, say your thought again about the t-shirt thing.
Well, I did it already, so no, what I was saying is we could do like what we did for the Halloween contest, and I set up a Discord channel that's specific just for that.
Okay.
So people can post stuff about it so it doesn't clog up other channels.
Oh, we can make a channel. We'll make a t-shirt. I can do that.
Oh, I already did.
Okay.
So
It's in there.
I got a really interesting idea for a Mihai shirt right now. All right. We need like an over-exaggerated pose of like Mihai with like a magical glowing blue kinetic like minigun leaned back and like all these magic missiles just flying out of it like all over the place.
LMG.
No, I have an idea for.
But the caption instead of saying I cast magic missile into the darkness, it just says F the darkness.
I like it.
My thought is, the Oprah Winfrey meme where she was giving away cars to everybody.
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's Mihai. You get a magic missile, and you get a magic missile, and you get a magic missile.
Perfect.
I love it.
Yeah, so let's get all these ideas and let's get some art going. And so I'll be honest with you, like I'm a fucking hack. I can reuse the assets, but I can't create anything when it comes to new art. So if anybody out there that's creative and wants, you'll get full credit. I have no problem doing that. And we'll get that going. Let's announce that tomorrow, like on the social media and stuff, and we'll set up everything. Yeah, let's either announce that tomorrow or Tuesday, depending on what we have time to get done tomorrow. That would be great. I'd love to see.
Even if it's like Decide or MS Paint stuff, still submit it.
I may have MS Paint.
Oh.
Dying to see it.
I may have MS Paint open right now and designing
Oh
something.
my
I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
I want a original Decider 12 to hang on my wall.
Get it printed out on canvas
I
art.
have a custom Decider 12, and he
You do?
owes me another one.
No, I refunded that.
Oh, you're a fuck.
You need an Etsy store?
No, it's just channel points.
Nate, I have no problem. Nate's comment was, I think it's awesome that you credited me on the merch that came up with Squee. The small thing that means a lot to me. Like I said earlier, that you guys are a part of this community. For those of you who don't know, if you're new to the channel, if you join our Discord, you can answer 5 simple questions and create a NPC that could be featured in our world. Heron is one. Squee is one. There's a couple more. One from the Fight Club that I believe Orcus put in.
With Tyler Durden.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
But these characters, I mean, a lot of these characters have been created by you guys, and like Squee is one of the most. Everybody loves Squee. People are ready to fucking riot when they thought Squee was dead. I got so many dirty fucking messages. I got so many messages like, if you fucking kill them.
I actually got a message that night too, saying like, if Squee's dead, I'm done. Just like someone messaged me on Discord while we were live.
So for me, that means I'm doing something right, because like, there's an emotional attachment out there to the characters, and like, this is an NPC, but we've had a lot of fun with Squee. Squee's a great character, so let's hope he lives through what he's going through right now.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Don't do that to me, Mike.
So there was a question about. Oh, that was the Mihai merch.
Pass right over it.
Right over it. All right. So, so I'd like to go back. Let's go back to the beginning a little bit. We've done 20 episodes, the 20th episode was our season finale last week. Like I said, there's
Last week.
Last month.
Last week.
Last session. So we did have a question about how your character. Maybe we can work our way from then back because that's fresh in your memory. So the question from who's it from? It doesn't say. Can the players talk about the state of mind of their character when fighting the thing that crawled out of Heron?
Oh,
So
God.
let's who wants to go first?
Luna.
Jack volunteered.
Yeah, I'll run up that fence first, that flagpole, as it were. So some of you may know, probably a chunk of you may know. Gunnar blames himself for the death of Heron. Some of you may or may not know that the plan was originally thought of in the RP channel when I was doing offline RP with Luna and Heron and several others. And Gunnar was doing what Gunnar was doing, taking control of the town watch and running patrols and trying to figure out defenses for the oncoming onslaught of the city. And one of the ideas he had was Heron had ships, or a ship, that he could help get refugees, children, women, the sick, out of the city and out onto his boat and up the coast to a safe, refuge. So when all this started and the ship out at sea exploded and we saw that huge thing, Gunnar immediately thought to himself, I'm a prince of a country and I'm trying to stop something much smaller, a little city, and I caused how many deaths in the blink of an eye because I didn't fully think out a plan. So you throw forward and Heron's got this big evil bad thing inside of it, and it was on like Donkey Kong. This evil mother trucker was gonna fuck with me and make me think this was my fault. I'm gonna eat his face. No, I'm gonna eat his children. That's what it came down to. And there was no other thought running through Gunnar's head. This was on. It was done. This guy isn't walking out of here alive.
Yep.
Even if Gunnar's got to die, he's not going to have his legs anymore.
Excellent. Luna.
So, yeah, like Jack said, this was all the whole concept of Heron being on the boat at the time that he was on the boat was born out of that conversation they had in the RP channel, and was something that we were able to translate into the story and have it blend in pretty seamlessly. And so we've sort of alluded to the fact that Idabrix and Captain Heron were in a relationship at the time that the ship exploded, and so she was very much on in on kind of what his plan was. And then when they found him again after he had been presumed dead, she at first was like, oh my God, and then she was like, something doesn't feel right, because at this point she had really gotten to know him very well, and she could just tell that something seemed a little off. And then they get back to town, and
His fingers were off.
Yeah, it was his fingers. Turtle power.
Turtle power.
Oh, fuck, that was funny. And his face moved. Wolfblood just said, and his face moved. Yeah, his face moved.
Most faces do, though.
Most faces move, as Gunnar reminded Idabrix. Yes, most faces move. So anyway, they get back to town and this thing comes climbing out, and she was like, the first thought was, I knew there was something wrong. The second thought was, fuck, why can't I hit this thing? So she was like, at that point, like, she was concerned about Heron and his well-being, but at the same time she was so pissed because she could not hit this thing and fight at all, and it was really making her crazy. So that was sort of her mindset.
Okay. Davdithas.
Oh man. When that thing crawled out of Heron, wasn't too surprised. I always thought something was weird with Heron, you know. And now I knew for a fact that it was. So, just kidding. But yeah, God, it was a disaster of a fight. You know, at first I thought we were doing really good. I'm hitting it with spells. Mihai's just sitting there unleashing a barrage of magic missiles. Like Gunnar's got it tied up. I thought we were doing so good, and then we started to run out of spells, and we just kind of were like, now what?
Gunnar looks like he's about to drop.
Right. Like, what do we do now? Like, it just got to the point where I was like, we're gonna die. Like, there's nothing we can do here. So yeah, it kind of took me by surprise, and I thought we were in such good shape for it, fully rested, ready to go. And then no. One thing I'm really shocked of is the fact that Heron's still alive. I mean, last time I had a creature crawl out of me, which was never, I would probably be dead. Like, most people don't survive something like that. So it's just a whole lot of shock, so to speak.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Mihai.
So Mihai's been, I think you asked for a wrap up of like how we were feeling one of the episodes prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said like something akin to proceeding with cautious optimism.
Yeah.
Like, gee, I sure hope it's not as weird as it really seems. Like, what the fuck? There's definitely something going on here. But not like Mihai not knowing Heron all that well, and not knowing the dynamic with the rest of the party. Just kind of took a step back and deferred to the expertise of the rest of his party to just kind of say, well, you know, I'm here. I'm along for the ride anyway.
No.
So I
Let's
really
be honest.
hope this doesn't go south quick.
Let's
But
be honest,
I'm
there's
just gonna
probably-
stand back.
I gotta read this comment. I'm sorry, man. Let's be honest. There's
Mhm.
probably been a few things crawling out of Davdithas.
Oh jeez, that should be a T-shirt.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, great. So we have another one for Davdithas and still don't have one for Mihai.
You guys gotta, yeah, take these, put them in the channel so that we can
Yeah.
be reminded. So
We need to see these again later. Yes, please.
You guys are
if
gonna
you're
go to
on Discord,
cons, and there's
join.
gonna be stuff like we crawled out of Davdithas. Take a picture.
all of the player characters
I
have
cr-
their own sub channels. You can put any ideas in there. And
I
yeah.
crawled out of Davdithas and all I got is this shirt.
That is so questionable.
All right, I have an idea. If we just put like a little bit of a design, it's not like fully drawn or anything, and just said, sorry, we couldn't finish it or something.
Oh, I'll take. I could take your character art and just like transparency, like 60% of it, and just be
Yeah.
like, oh, look, we couldn't even finish this shirt.
So I just had a crazy idea, and I'm sorry, Mihai, it's not for you, dude. But we gotta get a picture of a barbarian with his arms outstretched, all naked from like the waist up, and it just says "Naked Man Hugs."
That's a good one.
Yeah, Naked Man Hugs would be a great shirt. Yeah.
Outline all of it and only fill in 30% of the color.
I just submitted my shirt to the Discord, so.
So yes, there's a channel that says merch contest. And
Now I gotta see this.
Yes.
oh boy.
That's a pretty
Oh
easy
my
one.
god.
Oh
my
God!
So if you're not in Discord, you need to go join now so you can go see that.
Right now.
Go join Discord, please. And I will.
I'm not sure it's something we should show on stream.
I'll give you guys permissions as soon as you guys get in there. Hold on. So new Elite Honey Badger. No. All right, you guys should be able to see now. Let me know. Say something in chat if you still can't see the merch shit.
It looks unfinished.
Oh my god. Alrighty.
Oh.
Alrighty then. Jesus
Oh, God.
Christ.
And this is why we burn our dead.
And now
that
we've
thing
lost
should be
track.
fucking burned with fire. Nukes from orbit.
Nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Did we get everybody's thoughts on Heron?
Yeah, I think we
alright.
did.
All right, I gotta share some stuff. Okay. So one of the things that I've enjoyed about this is like working with the community. The players don't know anything about the story, obviously. Heron approached me, and we talked offline about his character and what was going to happen. And I knew, because there was such an emotional involvement there with that character, that I wanted to do some stuff with it. And when the ship exploded, and I knew he wasn't dead, obviously. I didn't know at that point how I wanted to reintroduce him, but I wanted it to have meaningful impact on the game. So Heron had messaged me the next morning and said, "Is my guy really dead? Or can I bring him back?" And I said, "Well, why don't you hold off for a couple?" I said, "Actually, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. I said, do you want him to be dead, or do you want him to come back?" Because I said I have some storyline in mind for him, because I had some things that like I said, I had a general framework that I wanted him to come back and be impactful to the story, and he's like, "Well, I don't mind if he comes back. I'll play another character in the meantime, in the RP Tavern." So I said, okay. So I got a couple weeks to think about how I wanted to bring him back. And I'll be honest with you guys. I'll be completely honest, 100% honest with you. When we were in Thistletop and you guys walked into that room, it jumped into my head immediately at that point. So
Really?
yeah,
So
there was supposed
Wow.
to be a baddie in there. And I thought to myself, I said,
Well, there was.
Yeah.
Sure, technically, yeah. There was supposed to be another NPC baddie in there, and I was like, okay, we can work with this. Like, how can we work with this? And I had to do this on the fly. You guys had a little conversation before you opened the door, so it gave me a couple minutes to think, and I thought about it on the fly. So from there, all the way till he jumps off and then his face does the thing, that was all done on the fly.
Spur of the moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Impressive.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah. So
Golf claps.
Mm-hmm.
um
I'll drink to that.
So that week I had to write a lot, because I wanted, like I said, I wanted to be impactful. This is a character has become engrossed in the story, that is, has a major role. Luna's character has a relationship with it. He has done this selfless thing to, save the women and children of Thistletop, and and then he got the shaft on it. So I thought,
I have a question for you about Heron.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
It's a classic trope, right? Is this my friend or is this an enemy? You know what I mean? It's pretty classic, right? But it's done for a reason. There's emotional conflict in there, and that's what makes a great story, is that emotional conflict, because you guys weren't sure, you didn't know if he was going to be a good guy or a bad boy at that point. I think you guys were leaning to the fact that he was purely bad at that point, but I wanted to bring the character back. I really wanted to bring the character back, and you'll see there's some stuff coming with Heron, just to give you a little thing. And I wanted to use that character. I'm gonna go back into Squee, but as well. But I want Davdithas to ask his question.
So as far as the finger cutting thing,
Yeah.
Was there any inspiration for that?
No, I just thought, how can he be? So I jumped into the demon's head to think about it, to think from a manipulative point of view, right? What is going to make you guys feel sympathetic without tipping the hand, per se? You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, so he's obviously tortured and injured, which is something that's very likely in that situation. But there was a couple hints there that there was a couple things you guys could have done at that moment to realize that he was a big bad.
Maybe if a cleric could detect evil.
Nah, that doesn't sound like something I do.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
We do have another cleric in the party, though.
Who? Where?
It's not Idabrix. That is one
Really?
class she has not taken.
Eventually.
No, but I was only joking. But seriously, how might we have gone about that as a new player? Like without no spoilers, but I mean, what's the mindset we should be in when we come across scenarios like
we
this?
could have beat him to death and see what happened.
True, you could have done
That's
that.
true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gunnar.
Okay, so aside from the normal detect evil stuff and the usual magic that you could kind of work with, he would have radiated magic because he's an extraplanar being. He is evil. He's inherently evil. All right. And there's a few other things that we kind of didn't pick up on that I picked up on, but I couldn't exactly bring in because Gunner's not a smart man, but he's a wiser man. But kind of putting everything together was a little bit of a metagame. And it's stuff that we all kind of discussed and kind of pieced together afterwards.
That's going to tie into our next question too but we're going to get into that in a second too. So
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
There was visual cues in the room. There was the way he walked. There was the way he talked. There was a selfish, the food. There was a
food was
selfish
definitely one.
Oh yeah, there was a bunch of weird inconsistencies with his story.
Yeah, there was just
and what
tons
the
of
scene we were set.
inconsistencies that we saw, but I didn't want to say anything because it was like, is this metagaming? Would this be too much? And I was like, you know what? Gunnar's just going to sit back and be grateful that he sees his friend, because if nothing else, I thought to stay true to the character and say he'd just be elated to see Heron alive, that he didn't kill his friend.
Gunnar, the character, would be willing to ignore that in the sight of his
Exactly.
buddy. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Emotion might have taken over at that point in Cloud Judgment.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think too, I mean, along with the metagaming, like Idabrix might pick up on something that Gunnar might not pick up on. Gunnar might see something that Mihai would have no clue about, just because of their individual relationships with Heron, as opposed to Mihai, who didn't know him all.
Yep. And as far as misdirection comes, and that's one of the DM's best abilities. So I gave him a ring that he was wearing at the time, but he was not wearing on his finger. It was an item, so I shouldn't say a ring because it was really an item. But it was it shielded his alignment. So if you detected evil, he wouldn't come back as evil.
Okay.
Yep. So
Clever.
Redirection and smoke and mist and mirrors and all that bullshit is.
How did he wear the ring? It
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was an item. It was an item.
It was a toe ring.
It's a toe ring.
One of those super fancy toe rings.
Yeah, super. It was like
festival chick toe rings.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
awesome.
If you got real close, it kind of smelled like patchouli.
Yeah. Any other questions about Heron right now? I'm not gonna give away anything that's gonna ruin the story, but I wanted to touch on Squee too.
Let's hear about Squee.
Yeah.
So Squee is another NPC fan favorite that has came about from Nate. And he came up with the concept for the character, and it just fucking took off. And I have a lot of fun with it because I get to insult these guys and be like, you fucking idiot. And it's fun. I don't have good character voices, but that one it just came from a place in me because I'm an asshole.
That one is really good.
Yeah.
The fact that Squee is like, you just get to be as snarky as you want.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like how you treat us offline.
Yes.
You can just be Squee, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm fucking tired of your attitude.
I'm
but you
tired.
just put a little rasp into it. And all of a sudden it's Squee.
Yeah.
Right?
I gotta be honest, I fell in love with Squee right away. The thought of the character
so good.
concept, the class, and he rung true with Gunnar. For those of you that may or may not have noticed, Gunnar immediately connected with this, outcast little goblin that just hated those where he came from and just disliked the evil and the bad shit that happened. And Gunnar immediately was like, this thing's a creature, a person after my own heart. And like that instant bond and connection with the two of them. At least in Gunnar's mind anyway.
I was just asking the staff a question offline so that they could see it. Squee for me was like, it was I wanted to use him as very first as a murder hobo test. For those of you who've done like TT RPG stuff, like campaigns can go to the dark place pretty fucking quick. You know what I mean? Like as Kothkin can attest, because I think he murdered the whole town of Sandpoint when they played it.
What?
Yeah. I think Kothin's
yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we should take this in a new direction all of a sudden.
I'm just
I got
saying.
this idea.
There is consequences for your actions when it comes to this shit, and I am a sick fuck. So, so Squee was my first test when it came to murder hobo. If you guys had attacked him, things would have gone very different. If you drug him into the town, it would have. There was so many avenues for conflict and drama, which again is the heart of a story, right? So if you guys dragged him into town, it would have been a whole thing where you guys would have had to make a decision because the town was going to kill him. So you guys at that point would have had to make the decision: are you going to defend him? Are you going to break him out? Are you going to fight this town for, or are you going to side with the town and let him get killed? In the beginning, when I said this game, it's not just going to be fighting. Moral dilemmas are going to be a persistent thing throughout this. So you guys, that was my first real big one. You know what I mean? So, and I enjoyed it. And Nate coming up with the character gave me the fucking perfect opportunity to drop that. It made sense. It completely made sense. The character made sense for the campaign, and I was able to shoehorn it into that when you guys were doing the boar fight very well. He's essentially a scout. He's a woodsman. It fit perfectly. So that was a great thing. And again, when Squee disappeared, as you guys know, at the end of the night, I try to end it on a cliffhanger every week, right?
Oh no, you don't, do you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right? That's news to me.
I haven't noticed.
Dick.
I did that on the fly because I didn't know how to end at that point. Because when I plan out the session at the beginning of the night, I think, okay, well, they're gonna get about here, and sometimes you don't get anywhere fucking close to that. You know what I mean? It's just the story adapts and changes because it's a living world. So that night I did that because I knew it was cause drama, and that was the only thing I could think of. I'm looking at the clock and it's getting to be 5 quarter of 15 of 10 of 5 of, and I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna Squeeze house is trashed. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I did on the fly to add that element of drama, the element. So then after that night, I had to spend the next week writing the backstory about how all the goblins came through. You know what I mean? So some of the stuff is on the fly, and I think I try to prepare as much as I can, as much content as I can beforehand so that if we ever run into dead air or run into a dead spot, that we have some stuff. But I think one of the best things that I've learned about DMing since starting this is to make those decisions that, okay, this is not going to completely break the story. It might derail it for a little bit, but let's go with this. You know what I mean? And you guys have helped me write some of the story, and without even knowing it. So it's absolutely fun. So we just had a question in, but I think guys, what do you think? We're gonna take a 5-minute break. Our typical 5-minute break. It's 10:30.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Derail it for a bit. 12 sessions later, says Bat Duck. Zamboni, I did see your hello. Zamboni girls in here. We got a lot of our friends in here tonight. So
yay.
I'm gonna kick off the break, and we're gonna when I come back, I want to do some thank yous for some stuff, some things and stuff, and then we're gonna continue this, guys. We're talking about it offline. We just had a quick conversation, and I know we're all excited to get the campaign going, but I want to give you guys what you deserve. So I think we're going to actually start the campaign next weekend, and we're going to continue to do this for tonight. It makes sense. And I want to, like I said, I just want to give you guys quality production, and I think a lot of people are enjoying this. So Appy Yip Yip, thank you so much for that comment earlier. That made our fucking night.
Hey.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And this way, if I get to delay it another week, I get to torture you guys even that much more. So, and
How are you gonna leave it on a cliffhanger, though?
I will. I'll figure out a way.
He'll find a way.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
All right.
All right.
He's gonna ask us a good question, then he's gonna be like, and we'll find out next week.
So we're gonna take 5 minutes real quick, and we'll be back in 5 minutes, and we'll see you then.
Alrighty.
Hey everybody, we're gonna get back to the action in just a second here, but I want to introduce myself. My name is Mike, and I'm the Dungeon Master for the Tabletop Tavern, and I wanted to fill you guys in on some things you might not be aware of. Our channel focuses on interactivity. To that end, for our subscribers, you automatically get 1 roll a night, and if you save up your loyalty points, you also have the opportunity to give our players a +1, +2, or +3 to their roll. Hell, you can even give it to me so I can make it that much easier to kill a player. It's a great way for you guys to get involved in the game. Speaking of getting involved in the game, if you join our Discord, !Discord, we have an RP channel that's expanded lore from this world, and we have a great community of people in there that are keeping it all going offline. Also, we have our community NPC channel. You can answer 5 simple questions. It takes about 2 minutes to come up with a concept for an NPC, and that could get featured in our world. So definitely check that out. Our players also have channels, and I have a Dungeon Master channel for myself as well. So it's a great way for you to connect with us and talk about strategy, ask what people were thinking when they made a decision. So check that out. The easiest way you can support our channel is to like, share, and spread the Tabletop Tavern to anybody you think you might be interested. You know, it's a free way for you to expand our reach, and hopefully can help grow this community. If you are in a position to support us financially, the best way to do that is patreon.com/Tabletop Tavern. Patreon takes the least amount of money from us, and everything you guys contribute, even as low as $1 a month, goes a long way to help offset some of the costs we incur running this show. Podcast hosting, licensing, equipment, it adds up pretty quick, and we all do this out of pocket, out of love for it. So thank you so much for coming out to check out this week's edition of the Tabletop Tavern. My name is Mike, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. All right, guys, we're coming back from that break. Thank you so much for your patience while we did that. Davdithas had to go to the little girl's room, so you know what I'm saying.
I actually was making a cup of coffee, is what I was doing.
He finished.
Yes.
Did you finish?
I finished making the cup of coffee.
Okay. Okay.
It's a start.
That's another kill for the scoreboard.
Now have sex with it.
Oh.
What?
I don't think that's how this works.
And that's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for coming back.
Yep.
Come on.
We missed you.
And the stream's canceled.
What? Just don't know. I don't know what to do with you.
Okay. So Appa Yip Yip had a question. He said, I kind of want to know how literally every character wound up chaotic neutral. So, because let's face it, y'all are.
Well, hold on. Would
Dumb
all
luck.
of you chaotic neutral people like to talk first, and then maybe the one person who isn't will fill in after?
Sure. I'm down with that. So Gunnar's character design originally wasn't chaotic neutral. He was actually going to be neutral evil. And it was because of his nature and his background and where he'd come from and the things that he'd gone through. He was very jaded and very angry and very bitter and very vengeful and spiteful. And Mike and I sat down and he goes, dude, I can't let you play an evil character. And I'm like, but he's not like looking to destroy the world, to destroy the party evil. He goes, no, I understand, man, but mechanically, it's not going to fit off. We got to change something around. I'm like, all right, well, I can kind of go the crazy berserker style and make him chaotic neutral. And he's like, that could work. And we sat and I manipulated and I changed on my background a little bit and we ended up with chaotic neutral. There was no way with everything that the world, the impact and everything else that had hit him, that he was going to be any sort of good or any sort of lawful. So it's kind of how it fit for Gunnar.
Which is fair, because I mean, you know, evil. So here was my reasoning. Evil is tough to play in a party. It's really tough because, and this is no slight at Gunnar or Cyclone Jack, but if you're not, if you have a mixed party like this, it can go south so quickly. You know what I mean? Like it can go south so quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can go bad very quick. So there was a worry about that.
And the neutral evil selfish standpoint, if it had gone south, let's be honest, if it started to blows and the party started rolling around, there'd be some real big issues. And we didn't want to deal with that on stream, which
Right.
Mike was 100% right with. So we found a very, very happy middle ground, and it worked out really, really well.
Awesome. Luna.
Idabrix is a halfling rogue. I'm not really sure there's any other thing that she could
True.
be.
True.
But to give a little bit to that, she's a halfling rogue. She's been on her own for a while, and sort of the philosophy that she has put out, and I say this openly because I've said it in the RP channel numerous times. Her philosophy for getting by in life is have enough to get through the day and just enough to start tomorrow. And so she just kind of flies by the seat of her pants and does whatever she needs to do to get through the day and start the next one. So that's pretty much it. It's not any great big elaborate story.
Well, that works.
Yeah.
Excellent. Mihai.
Yeah. Okay, a little Easter egg for those who are here. My first character, which Mike spoke of earlier and kind of referenced with the really long backstory kind of thing. My first character was a whole different character, and we ended up changing into a spellcaster role, which is kind of crazy apparently for your first time playing.
Yeah.
But originally I had a fighter, and he would have been, I would say, lawful good. He was imprisoned and finally escaped, and lived only to, eventually return to free his family and friends, like the rest of his village. And that's how I imagined that character playing out. But then when I took on the new role, like Mike pulled me aside and said, "Hey, we need to diversify a little bit. I know you're into doing this, but I think this would be really good for you and the party, and you can make this work."
And I knew he could pull it.
Started talking to me about Spellcaster.
And I knew he could pull it off.
Yeah.
So I sheepishly rose to the challenge and rewrote my backstory. But as I was rewriting it, I was like, if I'm going to do a new character, it has to be a new, like a whole new take on it. So the reason Mihai is, I would say, chaotic neutral is because he's kind of been on his own for a while, has no one to support him, and just kind of like a vagrant type of fella. So he's really just out to look out for himself. There are plenty of things that will come up in his backstory where, he's been with groups before and things didn't work out. And that's all I'll say to that, I guess. But he's just very skeptical of trusting anyone. Therefore, there is really no good or bad. There's just, I'm alive and I'm okay with what I'm doing right now. I'm pretty indifferent. As long as it's in my best interest, we'll kind of just play along for now.
Okay.
So I don't die.
Okay.
Which I'm starting to be concerned about.
Well, it should be a concern.
Yeah.
I mean, what did I tell you guys when we first started this?
Level 4, the gloves are off.
Training wheels come off.
I get a question. One more question. What level are you guys?
Level
4.
3.
4.
I'll strip a level. I don't give a fuck. We have a couple more questions, but I want to get into this first. I just wanted to we have a very generous community that have treated us very well, and I wanted to read off some names for you guys because you guys help us offset the cost of doing this. Podcast hosting costs money, design work costs money. Even though he's my jerk friend, I pay 1UpMG. Things cost money, and you guys help with that a lot. So I want to go through and give a shout out to the people that have subscribed to our channel and our Patreon subs as well. So Zamboni Girl, Cawthon, Big T and MSP, 1UpMG, Freya Malik, Nerdly Gaming, it's Oreo, Tiny Meteor, Sinfully, Nazrak, High Gods, Decider 12, Candleless, Weekly Worm Rest, that's mine, sorry.
That's you.
Oinks, Laugh All Loud, Great Wolf, Dice Tyrants, YottsTwitch, 2012, Wolf's Blood, One of the Cops, Wolfguard 1920, Brios, Tombstone, 7682, Gamermon Luma, Biggie Biggs, 12, Mac Jackal Ranger, Commissar Nitro, and Nate's Knife Pit. Thank you so much for your subscription to the channel. It means a lot to us. You guys are rad. You guys do this, and it lets us do this on a weekly basis. Jumping over to Patreon, I want to say a big shout out to Adam, Amanda, Diggs Gambit, Your Red, Gardner Girl, Heron, Jerry Baker 2, Nate Westlink, One of the Cops, Orcust, Riot Extreme, it's Oreo. You guys, we are currently on, we're at $111 a month on Patreon. And between the two, we're able to cover the bills, and do some fun stuff. You know what I mean? So we, a lot of the money that we've raised during these, doing this, we used during the past, the giveaway for the giveaways for the charity, and we donated some of the money directly from that to the charity. So you guys are seriously fucking rad. And thank you so much for supporting us. It's quite amazing. I mean, you guys are generous as fuck, and we really do appreciate it. So I just wanted to make sure we get that out there. And we got to update the AFK screen so that everybody gets the credit they absolutely deserve. So excuse me, I was dying there. All right, so we got
fine.
Roll initiative.
That is a 10.
You die.
Oh. Okay then.
Well, a 4 doesn't help me then.
Oh,
Freya.
that's an 11 for me.
12.
We just like rolling.
Oh, so Nate says, just so you know, you're the only non-gun channel and I'm a Patreon of. Well, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's actually a pretty big deal.
For
Yeah.
those of you that don't know, Nate's Knife Pit is actually Nate Westlink,
Yeah.
and he's a competitive shooter.
Yeah, that's
Excellent.
The
awesome.
guy's amazing on a range and in an obstacle course.
Freya, good to see you back. We tonight we are doing season 1 recap, and we're talking about the show and some background information on the show, and so Freya was the one who won the $60 game and decided to donate it to charity. So that money went to stackup.org. Thank you so much, Freya.
That's awesome.
So if you guys have any questions, please drop them in chat. Orcus is feeding those to us so that we can answer those, and we're going to work through them as we go. So the next question we have is...
I mean, I can talk about how, I'm the only good character in this whole group of neutral
Oh, that's right.
people.
That's right. Because, yeah. Let's talk about your alignment there, Davdithas.
I mean, obviously, a cleric has to have, a certain cleric has to have a certain kind of almost moral code, so to speak. So, being a supporter of Desna, I obviously have to be some kind of good. I could be neutral, but there's a lot of benefits to being a neutral cleric. Let me tell you.
Yeah, there is.
A lot of benefits.
There's
But
also benefits to wearing a chainmail shirt.
Yeah.
never heard of it. Never
That's
heard.
true.
Nope, not happening. I'll just
The
wear
halfling
chainmail.
rogue could tell you that.
Only if I had Dex, which I don't. But yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of challenging to be in a group with all of them because
Wow.
Wow.
yeah,
With
I
all
mean,
of you people.
it is though, because my direction is clear. Like, my direction is I want to do what's going to benefit like people the most.
Mhm.
And by
And-
people, he means him thinking
No.
about the way he spends his free time.
Yes. All right, a little bit.
How many lady folk can I impress today?
At least
Shink, shink, shink.
one.
Shink, shink.
Shake, shake, shake.
Yeah.
Can we please...
That's what the next Davdithas shirt needs to say.
Can we
I'm
please-
hiding. Shink, shink, shink.
Can we please talk about that Davdithas t-shirt and that sexy bikini, please?
You want to talk about that? My inspiration for that?
No, we don't talk about that.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That's the one we don't talk about.
Honey Badger, thanks for
Rat
stopping by.
funk. Rat funk.
That's our new line of merch, Orcust. Just keep that on the down low, would you?
Somebody needs to get a dismissal fucking spell for that shirt. Power of Christ compels you.
The power of something, anyway.
Alrighty.
I put a good 5 minutes of work into that, okay? Pretty proud of it.
All right.
But yeah, to get back to that, yeah, it's interesting being the only good one in a bunch of neutral people who can make decisions based on the moment, and I just feel like I sometimes have to save the bunnies and the horsies, and
That's because you love animals.
I do.
I
do
cannot
love
wait
animals.
to send the pack of undead rabbits at you guys.
Oh my god, the moral conflict. Oh.
Lich chupacabras at all the farm stock in the city.
Lich chupacabra. Oh no. What do I do?
Doesn't want to hurt a single person, but all livestock dead.
It's great too because even though it hasn't come up yet, I feel okay saying this. Like, my love for animals is actually built into my backstory a bit too. So
Okay, cool.
It's kind of interesting.
Look at
Yeah.
that. You guys are getting some some peeks into the psychology or the psychological profile of Davdithas.
It's suddenly going to become an episode of Criminal Minds if we're not careful.
Yes, it's true. Oh man.
Oh.
Okay, so we have a question. Oh, here we go, because I'm dumb. Pirate X Core question: outside of Pathfinder and D&D, what other tabletop RPGs do you all like to play, and which one would you like to play on stream day someday?
Oof.
I'm going to answer that one first, okay?
Okay.
Because Pathfinder is my favorite system right now. I was for the last 11 years or so playing in different campaigns with the same group, and we no longer play anymore. But that was Pathfinder. We did some one-offs we did a one-off with D&D 5th edition. And I kind of enjoyed the system. I played a cleric during that. We did a one-day one-shot and had a blast doing that. And we're actually I'm meeting up with those same guys in the next couple weeks, or in the beginning of the year. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to continue that character we played. And I played a cleric, and I played I'm trying to remember. I think it was a light something cleric. And it was pretty strong. But I'd have to say, if I went back into a system right now, and that I would like to stream as well, I would have to say Vampire the Masquerade, because I have always loved vampires. I've never been exposed to the system, any of the White Wolf stuff, Vampire the Masquerade. However, Fantasy Grounds is this close to releasing the rule set, so I'm gonna buy it the fucking second it comes out. And maybe at some point we could get a game going, because I would really like to play that. I'd really like to play that online. I would really like, I'll be honest with you guys, I would love to show up every week and be a character in that with the suit, you know what I mean? Like that just refined vampire, you know what I mean? Maybe some tattoos across my head. Like I would love to RP that like so much. Like that is a dream.
I'm picturing you like super emo style in a suit, a big 6'9" tattoo on your forehead.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, and don't forget the tribal barbed wire across his bicep.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
No, but I would like, I have read countless vampire books. Like I love the lore. I love the whole concept. I love the trope of werewolf versus vampires, and I'm completely in the fucking in the vampire camp when it comes to that. And it would be so fun for me, because in a modern day game with vampires, with the technology that we have these days, I just think it would be so goddamn fun. And see, here's the thing, like I don't even know the houses. I just started playing the older Vampire the Masquerade game, the computer game, and it's super fun. And I pre-ordered the one that's coming out as well. Got moved to next year. Vampire the Masquerade would be hands down the system I would love to stream the most. Let's kick it over to somebody. Somebody jump in.
I'll jump in.
Okay.
Yeah. I mentioned it before how I've recently played a role playing of BattleTech, which was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
I would still love to do more of that, because being the Mech Warrior fan that I am, there's so much that you can go into with that. One thing that I'm currently also playing, I also mentioned this before, is Starfinder, and that was something that I want to do more of. It's more or less Pathfinder, but you take it and you put it in a sci-fi setting. There's a hell of a lot of ranged combat, but I like to play melee characters in it, and it's really fun to take everything that I love about Starfinder and put it into a sci-fi scene, because I'm a big Star Wars fan, a big Star Trek fan. I'm actually, like, myself as a human being, I am named after Star Trek, because my name is David. My parents wanted to name me Spock, but my mom said no. So they decided to name me David, which, if anyone's a big Star Trek fan, David was Captain Kirk's son. So I'm literally named after Star Trek. And yeah, I just love sci-fi stuff.
You fucking nerd.
I really am. So
he was just born into it. He didn't have a choice.
It was by blood, yeah.
I really was born into it. I'm just glad they didn't name me Spock.
Well,
I'm really sad they didn't name you Spock.
I am too.
That would have been really cool, actually. Not gonna lie.
I don't know how I would have made it.
He would have been like, "My name's Spock, but you can call me Dave."
Spockdithas.
Spockdithas. It sounds like some kind of weird spider. I don't know why. It just does.
It's got 16 legs instead of 8. So, I actually started playing D&D when I was 12, and I played first edition. Then I played a bit of BattleTech RPG. I played D&D up till 3.5, and then I worked for Wizards of the Coast. I played D&D miniatures, and I play tested 4th edition and 5th edition for Wizards of the Coast. I still have the binders with my NDA disclosure on my shelf. I played Rifts. I played GURPS. I've played every White Wolf iteration from first to revised up into 20th anniversary, and in fact, I paid the backer price to have my name emblazoned in gold in the 20th anniversary edition in the Werewolf book, and my character's name is immortalized in that book. I've run multiple campaigns for the World of Darkness series, including Wraith, Werewolf, Changeling, Mage, God, every single Hunter of the Reckoning was probably one of my favorites. I played all the Warhammer 40k games, whether it was Rogue Trader or the Marines with the golden platinum arm. I ran that game for a while. I did the Chaos version. If there was a role-playing game out there that I didn't get my hands on, I am such a nerd. It is not even funny. There was even a banned role-playing game where you had to play a demon and a minion of the devil himself trying to escape from hell. And they released under 1 million copies across the world, and you can find it in paperback and red. And it was a dark gray paper with red writing on it. And that was after the big D&D versus moms, where the D&D goes against
Satanic Panic.
Satanic Panic thing that was going on.
Yeah.
That's when that game was released, and I actually have a copy of that book too. So I've grown up sitting at a table rolling dice.
Yeah.
And it's something that not a lot of people know. And people look at me and they go, "Dude, but you're into firearms, and you're a weightlifter, and you're a fireman, and you do all this other crazy stuff, and you roll dice on the weekends?" And it was more than that. It was like 4 nights a week. I'd sit around a table with pencils and paper and ordering pizza and hanging out with my friends and being such a nerd. I didn't go to prom. I played a 36-hour marathon session of tabletop RPGs.
Nice.
Wow.
Oof.
That was my life.
Deadlands as well, Grey Wolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't gone. I guess I'm the last one.
No, because I haven't gone yet either.
Luna hasn't gone
so
either.
because I've the least experience. Luna, you haven't either?
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Jump in and take over.
Floor is yours.
Like a big old jerk.
My night's not complete until I hear Yachts say sorry at least once.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
eh?
It's one of the things I look forward to every week. Just...
So since getting into this, I've been super into learning more and more and more, and I've been listening to so many D&D podcasts. Gotta check out the competition, you know what I'm saying?
Is there a competition to the Tabletop Tavern?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just checking.
So no, there are a lot of great shows out there, and they've introduced me to a lot of different platforms that you can work with. So I've started to write a Kids on Bikes campaign.
Oh, rad.
And I have that pretty well hammered out as far as the overall story I would see it going to would go. None of the details, because the players kind of have to fill that in. Yeah.
Is that the kind of one we talked about? You had pitched me your idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably the one we last talked about.
Okay.
I've had a few different ideas, but this one was not quite a one shot, but it would be kind of a shorter series.
Okay.
But if anyone's interested, hit me up. I'll share a little more details offline. And then just kind of jokingly, me and Candace were drunk texting back and forth and came up with somehow within like an hour we had an entire like post-apocalyptic landscape laid out.
Awesome.
And like different factions and like the raiders and their motivations, and then like, oh, there'll be a free zone over here and they'll have like this religion and like this whole like Fallout campaign. And she was like, we should actually just do this. Like, what? You know, she DMs, I don't, but I would so into doing it.
What kind of system would you look
fun.
at for that? I think Savage Worlds would be perfect for that.
Pretty cool.
I did have a rule set somewhere for one of them, but I didn't really get into it too much. We just kind of started talking about story and where we'd like to take it. So if you guys have suggestions for platforms, that could be a lot of fun.
Maybe it's a conversation offline, but maybe you could run it on the channel if you're comfortable. If you get comfortable.
Yeah, I think Candelus would have to be down because she's an experienced DM where I'm not. But if she would be interested in doing it on the channel, that'd be so much fun to go live with it.
That'd be fucking rad.
Yeah.
But we can talk about that offline. If anyone's interested, again, just hit me up for some details. And
Speaking of going live on the channel, Mike, you were talking about Vampire, man.
Yep.
And I gotta be honest, you've mentioned this before, and I'm just throwing this out there as a cliffhanger. Guess what I did there? But I loved running White Wolf.
Okay.
And if that's something that you want to play, dude, what do you guys think? Mike's been like super amazing as a DM and doing all sorts of wonderful stuff and giving up his time and doing all this stuff. Maybe I could run a game of White Wolf for Mike and whoever else.
Look at Idabrix. Look at her.
Pick me. So now I'll just jump right in because I haven't answered the question yet either. So I won't tell you how old I was when I started playing TTRPGs, but it started about 11 or 12 years ago. So I was well into my adult life at that point. And I started with D&D 3.5. That was the only system that I had played because my now ex-husband at the time was running a group at home. And so I was just like, you know what? I've got these people coming over to my house every week. I might as well just join right in. So I did. And you'll never believe that my first character ever was a halfling rogue.
Did you actually use your what is it called, sneak attacks or whatever?
I did, but it was D&D, and I was better at remembering it because it works a little differently then. So I played that. We skipped 4th edition, didn't even touch it. We play tested play tested D&D next. I've also played the Dragon Age tabletop RPG. Dragon Age
so much fun.
Isn't that a great one?
Oh my god, it's so much fun.
That is a great one. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I actually brought it one time to PAX East and got it signed by a bunch of BioWare people. They were like, "Oh my god!" They were so excited to see it.
That's awesome.
It's a similar rule set, but the setting is like totally different.
Yeah, because it's all set in the world of Thedas, and the system I find is very easy. You just need 3d6 and you're good to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's really cool if you ever want to take a look at it. I've got a bunch of the stuff for it. So I've played that. I've also played so we have a really awesome in my area called Dorks and Dungeons. And they're an improv theater troupe that has actually written their own TTRPG. So I've actually played their TTRPG, but I attend their shows all the time. So
you had told us about that before, how they have
they're a ton of fun. They're really, really funny group of people. It's all improv comedy done in the setting of using a D20 to make decisions on whether they succeed or fail. And
gotcha.
So they actually wrote out a full-blown rule set, and so I've played that before as well.
Excellent.
And then my current group, when I'm not playing Pathfinder with you guys, I'm playing a 5e game, homebrew with a group of friends. And and what would I like to play? I also would really like to do Vampire the Masquerade. I really would like to give that a try. And Shadowrun. I've never done that. like to try that one.
Shadowrun's amazing.
Yeah. So those two.
So to answer a question really quick that I see in chat from Bat Duck that says there was a 4th edition, not to my knowledge.
Not to my.
Yeah.
Nope.
Exactly.
I don't remember it either.
I don't either.
Not to trash a system that somebody might enjoy, but I think what the Wizards tried to do at that point is they tried to make a system that would translate very well to an MMO. So that was very. It felt MMO style. It didn't feel like pen and paper to me. So. That's,
So with if you guys saw the iteration before 4th edition was done, they came out with a rule set called Dungeons and Dragons Miniatures, and it was literally D&D streamlined for a miniatures tabletop game, and it flopped. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to keep pushing the line of miniatures, so they revisited the entire rule set and game and expanded on it with the 3.5 rule sets, and they made 4th, and they made it with the explicit intent of pushing the minis as hard as they could.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
If anyone was ever interested too in getting involved in the Dragon Age system, I have a friend who is diehard DA lore. So if you ever have questions about lore or anything like that,
is that the person? I know
it is.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, you might occasionally see her floating around. J Rain, and she is a hardcore Dragon Age fan. Knows a ton about the lore and actually really has talked about running a campaign at some point. So she would be a first-time DM, but she's very interested in it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we do have a question coming in. It's for Yachts. How has your first campaign been, particularly as a spellcaster, and how has the learning curve been? We kind of touched on it earlier, but you can just reiterate.
So my first character was a fighter, and we did a few test sessions just to kind of like warm me up and get me accustomed to using Fantasy Grounds and just playing the game in general, like the basic rule set. And I had a lot of fun with it, and I felt so powerful. There was like I was just rolling 20s all night. It was amazing. And I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. And then I respec'd into a spellcaster, and I was very nervous, obviously. I shouldn't say obviously, but I was.
Obviously.
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 To be fair.
Obviously.
To be fair.
To be fair.
But
I thought we were doing like a tradition thing there. Tradition.
No, the learning curve has been steep because there is to me there was a surprising amount of math involved and things like that, like just trying to keep on top of everything. Like, okay, this spell works like this, but if this then this, but if this then not that, and like there's a lot of like there's a whole logic flow to the process of me deciding how things are supposed to work, and I mess it up a lot. And the rest of the party is super kind to me and helps me out so much. Where they could just be like, this guy.
And they're not tossing you through a trap.
And the community's been helping me out. Yeah, the community's been helping me out a lot in Discord as well. Like I said, all the players have their own channel there, and people will say, hey, have you ever thought of doing something like this? Or like, what about this build? Or what's your idea for the next level? Do you think you'll take this spell? I've used it like this in the past. It's really versatile. And that kind of stuff is super helpful to me because I'm coming into it blind. Whereas I think a lot of people who play D&D, even if they're taking a spellcaster after, or like for the first time, they've probably seen someone play it and have a gist of how it might work. So this has been really fun, but I'm actually really glad I ended up taking the spellcaster because it just feels more, it adds a whole extra layer of depth to it for me, I think.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
When Mike first approached me, like I said, I was nervous, but he was like, no, this will actually be a great fit for you. You can totally do this.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that I took his advice on doing it.
So one thing for me is that I would prefer not to say no to a player when somebody's trying to use their imagination. One of the biggest things I like is to see like people try something grand, because while it can be accomplished, theoretically it could be accomplished, the failure is just as wonderful if it fails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we have so much potential for laughs or like drama when it comes to that. One of the most controversial things out there, and I say controversial and it comes to a fucking game, but like, people argue back and forth about the whole skill checks. 1 in 20s, do 1s automatically fail and 1 do 20s automatically succeed. And I personally of the mind that no, they don't. And my reasoning behind that is that even if you roll a 20, there's no way you're gonna talk a god into giving you ultimate power. Like, I just don't see that happen. That's even in a world of make-believe, that's just not likely, especially like a level 1 character. But I like to give people the opportunity. I'd rather you roll the dice and fail. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather say roll it. So Yachts to me has done a great job in. My thinking on pushing him towards an arcane caster was the fact that he has a lot of tools at his disposal, and he has a great imagination so that he can use those in ways that wouldn't typically be used. You know what I mean? He'd find outside the box ways to use it. And that was one of the funnest things for me. I primarily played a caster most of my D&D career, and I like to find new ways to use spells, and he's done a phenomenal job at that. We got to give him some great kudos, because it's not easy walking into a spellcaster. It's not easy, but he's doing a great fucking job. So
yeah.
The only
Thanks,
thing,
guys.
my only piece of advice is just stay the fuck out of combat. just stay away.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That is my one piece. That's my piece of advice.
Yeah, thank you.
So, I mean, we have a wonderful cast here. We have a great, exactly. You are not Gandalf. You cannot wade in with a sword and staff.
But I want to be. Oh man,
We all want to be Gandalf. Trust me.
Gandalf is a dick. I'm going to explain
He really
Gandalf.
was.
Gandalf, he essentially went like this. He's like, you all gotta go. Run for your lives. He killed the monster, fucking took all the XP for himself, got a new staff, a new robes, magic fucking
Leveled
items, and
up.
showed up, and he's like, what's up? I'm Gandalf the White now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
He was an XP loot whore.
Oh my gosh. Well, the party would have died if he didn't do that, though.
Would they have? Would they
You
have
think
really?
so? I think
No.
so. You don't think so?
No.
I think they would have died.
Well, we'll find out when you guys fight a Balrog.
All right.
Just
All right.
remember, rule number
the
one:
DM's
you don't.
like, the Balrog is bloodied. Gandalf is like, I got it.
Just
Everyone
remember, remember rule number one: you don't talk to the XP.
Don't talk to the XP.
Oh, I wanted to jump back to the whole end fight, the last fight that you guys went through when you were fighting the demon there, or
A demon, you said.
the Barghest, greater Barghest. I wanted to make that fight. I wanted him to be true to his character and be an asshole. Like, he didn't fight fair. As if you guys have watched the final episode, you guys understand he didn't fight fair. And we fucked up some mechanics in that, but it still worked out all in the end. He was a bastard, and I got to play him as a bastard, jumping around, just staying out of reach, and you know what I mean? Like that.
Except that one time.
Yeah, except for that one time.
That one time.
But it was fun for me to play play that fight out as the BGEG. It was also really fun for me to when they were fighting wow.
Words.
I can't think of the old character's name now. N, what's her name? Demon girl with the
Nuala.
Nuala,
Thank you.
yes.
Brain work, please.
Too much cough medicine, Mike.
Yeah, I need coffee. When they were fighting Nuala, there was something else going on, and I'm not gonna, tell you guys, but Opening that door and casting spells and watching
Oh my
Mihai having to
God.
shut it every fucking round was hilarious to me. It
I'm
was
gonna close the door.
The door opens. I close the door. The door opens.
oh my
I
fucking
close
Christ.
the door.
That was
The door opens. Idabrix jams her dagger into the door. It doesn't open again.
I was just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm
It's
not
draft.
okay with that door creepily opening behind
The
me.
best part of that was trying to convince everybody that they were going insane. There was no one else. It was just the wind.
yeah.
What are you talking about? There's no other caster. Everything's fine.
Oh my god! And for me, it was like inside this on top when you guys were having that fight because she was a major plot point for the whole fucking thing. But like that obscuring mist,
Oh my
fuck you
God.
guys!
Oh,
Yeah, it
Fuck you
really
guys.
did.
It was brutal, and I loved it.
I don't want to talk
I've heard
about
of the spell called what is it? Fireball? Is that it? Gee, I really wish I had it at that moment.
You would have fucking
I
killed
would
your
have nuked my
team.
party just to figure it out.
But he would have walked out okay. That's
Yeah.
The whole room's
No,
lighting up. If you're in
no.
there, you're in there.
Yeah. If he cast it in
Oops.
the back blast from that fucking thing would have roasted him.
That would have been the best way to go.
Trey, he's got
TPK by an accidental explosion.
asbestos robes. He's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robes.
Just asbestos.
I'm wearing these robes as best as I can.
Oh,
Oh.
And that's our show, folks.
oh god. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Ping them over to
There.
Orcus, and we'll
Yeah.
get those going. But I want to talk to the party about the progression. I'm going to ask for each player for let's go 2 points, two favorite points from the campaign. Like, and I'm going to ask you guys to think back up from the beginning and 2 favorite points from the campaign. And if anybody is ready, you can let me know and you can go first.
Whew.
I've got one for sure.
Okay, we could do it like that.
Yeah, I'll come back to you in a second, but one of my favorite things so far has been Mihai's interactions with Squee. Because like for some reason I genuinely like want him to like me, but every time I interact with him, he's like
He likes you
he
less
just
and less.
doesn't fucking get me. He's like, what's wrong with this asshole? Can I help you, buddy? He's like, fuck this guy, right? So anyway, Gunnar, as we were saying, it's like, come on, man. Like, just want to be your little buddy. Like, I thought we were cool, long shanks and everything, right? And he's like,
Meanwhile, he's
fuck
like
off.
flipping you the bird and shit.
Who is this tool? Why do you even keep him around? And I love it, the fact that it's gone like that every friggin' time. It's amazing.
Oh God, that's funny.
So
That ma-
that's my.
I was gonna
favorite
say that
ongoing
makes me
joke,
think.
yeah.
I think one of my favorite things was the night that Idabrix tried to rob that store.
Oh, that was one
Oh
of
my
my
god, that was so
great.
good.
Oh, I have 2, and they both involve Idabrix because Idabrix.
Uh-huh, yeah.
I see how it is.
Well, I mean, I have a lot of other ones, but you just wanted 2, so. No, the night that she tried to rob that store, and then like the alarm goes off, and she gets out, and then she's just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, has no, yeah. I really was hoping to get away with that dagger, but that was just not meant to be. And then the other,
there was like, I kept those rolls honest. Like, it
I'm
could
sure you
it could have
did.
gotten very bad for you.
I don't doubt that it could have.
Yeah.
And then the second one, you sort of you started to allude to the idea of, not allude, but you mentioned the idea that you like it when people try things, grandiose things with their character.
Right.
And I think for me it was the first time that I really was like, all right, let's see what she can do. And I did the running jump off the stage into the air and
Yep.
Idabrix was born.
It was such a heroic moment, and then
Another classic moment.
And
It
then-
was so great, and
Yeah.
then it just failed because I missed, and it was devastating and awesome all at the same time.
because you're like this, run off, jump up, you're like ready to strike, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh wait, I'm going past it.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
okay, bye. Yeah, and no, because it was like I was like, oh man, I'm totally gonna like, I nailed the roll for this, and then I nailed the roll for the next thing, and then I nailed the, oh shit, you know?
Perfect.
But I landed gracefully, so that's what matters.
All right.
So,
okay, Gunnar.
Yeah.
I've got my 2.
Okay.
Okay.
And my 2 are completely contrary. When I told some of my friends that I game with, and some of the viewers that are friends of mine that came over from my channel, they were like, "Oh, well, you know, what are you gonna play?" And they're like, "You know, what's going on?" I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna make a Norse barbarian, you know, like a Viking style character." And they were like, "Oh, you know, that kind of figures. You know, you're gonna be the fighter, you're gonna be the warrior, you're gonna be, you know, the murder hobo, the guy at the front, like slaying everything, or just taking hits all day, right? That's what you're doing." And it kind of bothered me, because I don't think of characters, and I wanted to prove a point that that's not all that Gunnar was.
Okay.
So my first favorite moment is something that kind of played a little bit, maybe a little too much off my own personality, but I wanted to make everybody smile and I wanted to make everybody laugh. And that was the naked man hugs.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that was just, "Come here, buddy, it's okay." And the naked man hugs was born. And that was
Oh, that was so great.
that was one of them, man.
Yourselves. You haven't been on the receiving end.
So naked man hugs was number 1. Gotta be number 1, because it really showed, you know, the compassion, the depth, the difference of someone who really cared about, you know, one of his friends, but at the same time didn't understand the social dynamics and didn't understand the way that society in a new land really treated things. And for him, it was something innocent. It was something of a bonding thing, something of a comfort thing. You know, he wanted to be there for his friend, but for everybody else, it was just, let's see if we can make people smile and laugh. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I got a lot of comments from that. They were like, "We totally didn't see that coming." But number 2 had to be one of the, in my opinion, one of the biggest upsets. When Gunnar went nose to nose with the mayor and the sheriff over Squee. And that one stood out with me on a few different levels. Personally, if most of you may or may not know, I'm first generation born in America. My family saw time in the concentration camps in Florida from Cuba. So we know what it is to be refugees and to be run out of our own land. So the fact that they were so willing, the city, to do that, especially, you know, when we came back from like the Cold War and everything, and we were dealing with Cuba and Castro and, you know, the nuclear missile crisis and everything like that was going on, it really rang true to me. And again, it showed that Gunnar wasn't just some mindless barbarian. He had morals and standards and compassion and a heart and a drive behind him for something.
Excellent.
So,
Yeah, man, I actually props are overdue to how much you've surprised me with Gunnar. Because when you have a barbarian in your party, from what I've seen, there is a stereotypical like smash you with hammer now bad guy type of like dumbed down barbarian, right? But like fucking
Playing it
you've
with
got
so
some
many
layers
nodes.
going.
Yeah.
You've got some layers going with Gunnar.
I was going to say he's
kind of, it's
would
been
you
a
say
lot
he's
of fun
like an
to
onion?
peel away a little bit and kind of see the character behind.
Yeah.
thank
So
you
props
guys.
to you, dude.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you. He's got layers like an onion.
It's got
Like an
layers
onion.
like an ogre.
Like an ogre.
Perfect.
Thank you.
so
I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
I guess for me, one of the, I don't know if I want to call it crowning moments, but certainly one of the most memorable moments, which has led to many jokes, was the, you know, being the hero of Sandpoint and, you know, making sure there's no rats in the basement. That has certainly been a moment for my character.
It's a moment with life-changing consequences.
It was literally life-changing for Decider. It was literally life-changing for him.
We don't need to get into that.
Yeah.
No.
While it's
Man,
not one of
what a
my
funny
favorite
thing.
moments, it certainly is one of the most important moments of so yeah. And for those of you who might not have caught it, I mean, basically I was propositioned by a young maiden, if you will,
Maiden.
to yeah.
By a young I nerd Mike.
She claimed that there were rats in the basement and that she needed help clearing them. I went down there. There were no rats. There was a bed. She got naked. I got naked. Her father show up. I run.
Do you remember her father's name?
Too busy.
Of course he does. He's a gentleman.
Exactly. He's a blacksmith.
No.
He's a
gonna call
shopkeeper.
him Mr. Blacksmith.
I sold him a pair of
Smith
earrings.
would have been a
Mr. Smith, yes. Yes, Mr. Smith. I do not
Oh my
remember his
God.
name. No. Do you?
Yes. Oh. Alrighty.
What was his name?
Ven Vinder.
I don't even remember her name, so you know.
Wow.
She had that
Wow.
much impact on you? Don't even remember her name?
Look, she tried to hug me or do whatever to me when we came back, and I just, face palmed. Well, not to me. I put
Stiff
my
armed.
face. Yeah,
The old
stiff-armed
talk
her.
to the hand.
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
Oh, you!
Yeah.
So nice to see you.
Yeah.
How have you been?
Oh, you.
Exactly.
Classic you.
Classic you.
I have much better things I'm moving on to now. Okay.
Okay.
Nice elven lady who I also don't remember her name.
So,
The Elven Ranger.
Yeah.
okay. So, what was your second one, Davdithas, Decider?
I haven't thought of it yet. There's been so many great moments.
I'll give you.
I think.
I'll give you mine.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead. Yeah, please.
I'm gonna say, all right. So when Pseudo punched himself in the dick,
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, I picked that.
Yeah.
when Pseudo punched himself in the dick, it was fucking phenomenal. I think we should.
How tight to the rules was that?
That was true.
Oh,
It's
that
a
was-
legitimate.
yeah,
It's
true to the
legit.
rules.
I'll
Yeah.
copy
Like
the fumble.
there is a failure chart that says you punch yourself in the
You
groin.
punch
Yeah, I'll
yourself in the
read.
groin.
Correct.
Well, I'll bring it up as we're talking. But yeah.
Okay.
That changed. Like, I mean,
Well,
I
oh my
love
gosh,
I
that
love the
fight.
fun. That fight was tough.
That fight was
just went our
amazing.
way. It went our way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Single bit of it.
surprisingly good.
You know what it reminded me of, honestly? Like when we were fighting that out, I had the Pirates of the Caribbean theme, and all I could think of us was like a bunch of Jack Sparrows swashbuckling and dancing from table to table and through
Yes.
all the broken glass as we're like fighting all these goblins and pseudo, and it was like each witty repertoire that like we all threw at them when he was like yelling at us like you're gonna die, and Gunnar was like not if I eat your face.
See layers. Gunnar.
I'm trying to find the fumble as we do this, but
Yeah.
I'm reading through them right now. So you guys got me with the Davdithas, you specifically with the the fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Fucking Christ. I couldn't stop.
God.
I literally couldn't stop laughing.
It's like a freaking Ninja Turtle. Just the two fingers. It's just,
Oh,
that was a great moment.
How can I not find this
Nate,
fumble
Heron
effect
and a
now?
half shell.
I saw that. Yeah.
It was, oh my god,
Oh god, that was bad.
I was in tears.
That was so funny.
But there's so many great points throughout the campaign that I've just been like, there's been so many times where I just wanted to fucking facepalm.
Just us making stupid decisions, or like.
Oh god, yeah, just like being so like part of it's like me knowing actually what's going on, and then being like, don't do that, don't do it, you're gonna fucking die. I think I missed one question. I honestly think I missed one question from the community. I gotta scroll back because somebody had asked. Hold on.
There was a question earlier on about how many times you wanted to just kill us.
Every week.
Every week. Okay.
Good
He
to
even
know.
tried to kill us during the off weeks.
Yeah.
He did. It's true. He's like, hey, by the way, your character just suffered a fatal heart attack during
During my
break.
flight.
Don't come back.
Yeah.
That's how he's gonna fire us all someday.
Okay. I'm not sure who this question came from. Orcus put it in the chat, but when you encountered the Wraith after freeing, when you encountered the Wraith, when you guys walked into the that room with the Wraiths in there, what went through your minds as you decided not to keep fighting? So, anybody wants to start there, you can.
One word, one emphasis. Nope.
Yep.
Followed by a token Gunnar statement, and this is why we burn our dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I found. Okay, I'm gonna interject real quick. Okay.
Okay.
It's a critical failure, and if you roll a 17, it says your opponent parries your attack, parries your awkward attack that causes you to hit yourself in the groin. You have half movement and -4 to all actions for 1d6 plus 4 rounds. If this action is impossible, your original target receives an action point. It's a it's a legit.
I love that is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really thought of everything.
So you know what?
Good job, Paizo.
Actually, you know what we could do is we could add custom ones in there, so we can expand it past 20. So we could use like a D100 roll. So, community, I'm gonna task you with something this week.
Critical
if you guys
fails.
critical failures, come up with something that would happen that like a critical failure, and shit. Even if I have to roll it like on my desk here, you know what I mean? Like, come up with a scenario that something that could legitimately happen, or be funny in combat. Come up with those, and give me a suggestion for a negative during that. And if I need to balance it, I'll balance it. But let's get more of those.
That would be great.
Okay.
So, as far as that white question goes, Mike, do you want to raise the curtain a little bit, or do you want to stay in character with it?
You guys can. Well, as far as what?
The motive as to why we left with the whites.
You guys provide whatever you'd like, and I'll go after you.
All right. So I'm gonna raise the curtain a little bit for you guys, and y'all didn't hear this from me because this might be my last show if I upset Mike a little too much. But so we got to the part with the whites where they were doing like stat damage to Davdithas, and he was freaking out, and we had like no spells left, we had no potions, we had nothing, and it was like the tail end of the one episode, and we were trying to wrap things up. And we knew if we sat there with this fight, this wasn't going to be easy. It was going to be long and drawn out. And we started messaging each other on the side going, we need to wrap this up. We need to wrap this up. Just run. Just fucking run. There's nothing else there. Just run.
Yeah, basically.
So the kicker was that Mihai wasn't reading his messages. So I got it first from Mike. And I was trying to, and I managed to get Luna to check the message, and then Decider saw it afterwards too. And we're all trying to give high signs to Mihai, to fucking Yachts, to go, dude, wrap it up. Let's go. We're done. We gotta go.
We're like tagging him in Discord messages.
He's like, no, man, we're gonna fuck these dudes up. We're done. We've got this. Game on.
He was so indignant.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
He was so resolute.
He was like, fuck this, we got this. And we're like, nah, man, come on.
We gotta go.
And finally we're like, Mike says we need to get back to town.
So
And I
like,
was holding up the show so bad, but
it wasn't even about that. It was that in your current state, they would have fucking murdered you guys.
Oh, I had.
I was
nothing left to even
focused,
fight
and
them.
I was not thinking about Discord. In that moment, I was Mihai. And
Which
she
is
was
totally
going
fine.
down.
It's
And I was
awesome,
like,
but it was just really
we are
funny.
So fucking close
Yeah.
to wrapping this whole island up in a big old fucking ribbon.
Yep.
And tying a bow in it and being done. And
Gunnar
we're about
was
to
like-
walk away from this.
Gunnar was like this close to like grapple checks and throwing Mihai over my shoulder and just fucking beelining it out of the dungeon. Like it was that
honestly
close.
was just fully expecting, like, as we're all saying, yep, nope, we're leaving, that Mihai was just gonna be like, I don't get it, I stay. And just like,
I thought about it.
and like takes
You
it
guys
upon
all
himself.
walked away, and I was like in shock. I was like, "What the fuck is
it was
happening right now?"
So indignant, and I was just like, it's like I don't want you guys die yet. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm like, I was going through it like, okay, what does Mihai do? Will he stand on principle? And I was like, no, he probably won't, because he doesn't, like, he's doing what he's doing to stay out of harm's way, and the party is safety.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I had become invested in this quest from Sandpoint, if you will. Sorry for the delay there, trying to get my words, but I was like, I can't believe we're about to walk away from this with it being so close to finished. Like, just fucking get ready and let's do this. Like, we can do this. And I was like, Mike wouldn't give us, he wouldn't try to kill us. We're like, what?
He
I was like, guys,
have you
like,
met
he
Mike
put this
lately? I
here
mean,
for a reason. What is happening?
Yeah.
And yeah.
So the funny thing is that like Decider had just finished his last channel energy and had healed up the party and had done a bunch. And Gunnar's only a level 1 cleric, so I tried channeling energy, and when I rolled for damage and they didn't even blink at the damage I dished out with my channel energy, I was like, it's time to go.
I thought we were one round away from figuring out the weakness and finishing it.
Well, we knew they were
I was
undead.
like, something's funny happening, but like, we'll figure it out.
I forget if it was Decider or Gunnar rolled
right through it. Yeah.
Yeah, we rolled a religious check, found out they were undead. I tried to channel positive energy. It literally had nibble effect, and I swung through one, and nothing happened. Like, I think I hit for like a 28, and like it just stared at me, and I was like, "Well,
yeah,
time to go."
Nothing to do here.
Nope.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a thing.
I checked my messages immediately after and was like, "Oh fuck, sorry."
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
Hell out of here too.
Sorry.
We
Yeah.
spam
Sorry.
you so
Sorry.
much.
Sorry, eh?
Sorry.
It's
No, but there was a list of like, yachts, come on, man. Yachts.
Yachts, what are you doing? Yachts,
Tagged you
read
too. Like,
Yeah.
multiple times.
So, in case you guys are wondering, there are little keys behind the scenes, stuff like that, and that was a little glance behind one of them.
yeah, like I said, we up until level 4, I wanted to give the guys the benefit of the doubt about learning their classes and learning how to play together as a coherent group. And sometimes we're like, hey, we should move past this because it needs to be moved past. You know, there's like, we had a debate, and I hope nobody knows I put this out there. One of the only scenes that has been touch and go throughout this whole campaign was the torture scene in the Glassworks, and we all had a conversation after that, because some people, it was brought to my attention, some people, it was, in my opinion, I'm going to give you my opinion, and you know, this might vary throughout the party. I think we lingered too long on that torture scene in the Glassworks. So we just talked afterwards, and we came through like we said, if somebody's lingering like that and affecting the flow of the energy of the stream, that we're just going to move past it, and we'll ping each other. So on occasion we'll just say, hey, let's move this along a little bit, or let's get there. That specifically that night that we're talking about with the undead, we were running out of time. We had been playing for 4.5 hours.
Long time.
Yeah, 4.5 hours, and we were trying to get to a certain point. I'll give you guys another behind the scenes thing. We were getting to the point where we were running out of time and weren't going to get to the BGEG, which is kind of acceptable. And normally we would just gone later, right? But I had to drive 1 hour and 40 minutes after that to a training class. So,
and it was already like a 7-hour stream.
Yeah. So I wanted to get the people back to the town because I had, the BGEG. There was supposed to be another part after that, and it didn't happen because we just ran out of time. But sometimes for production's sake, we, it's I don't ruin the story continuity with anybody at all. I never do that. But sometimes it's like, let's get it going. You know what I mean? So peek behind the curtain a little bit.
And it's kind of funny. I wish you guys could have been there for it. especially like we were talking about the torture scene, it played true to another major background step for Gunnar. And Yachts was like right there with me. It was a moment of inflamed passion for like both of our characters.
Yeah, as unfortunate as the content was, it was one of my favorite interactions for sure with Gunnar, because it was like, okay, like I had no intention of actually doing anything, but I'm like, I'm just gonna act tough. Like this big guy's got it. We're good. Like I'm just gonna be the baddest motherfucker I can and try to get some info.
The bonding and the cohesiveness that was born of that scene between Mihai and Gunnar is huge.
That made me trust him a little bit more for sure.
There was a newfound respect that Gunnar had for this little dude in robes that, you know, you wouldn't have expected beforehand. I mean, if you look at like the Norse mythos, you know, like magic and spellcasters were a thing. I mean, Odin himself was a god of magic, and that's huge. But in Gunnar's mind, he, you know, this guy's just a little apprentice who, you know, in his mind and what he's seen, didn't amount to a ton until now, when he showed that not only was he just a caster, but he was willing to risk it all and back his friend up and do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And that was just, it was huge for him. So
Davdithas, did you think you were your second one?
Oh, gosh, it's again not really one of my favorite moments, but just that moment when Gunnar decides to throw Mihai through that trap.
Oh.
It was one of those moments where I'm like,
this is not going to end well.
This is happening. Like, this is a thing. We're going to lose a party member on a stupid move right now. And there's nothing I can do. Like, I can't save him at all. There's no healing I can do to help him. It's just, he's going to get tossed like an arrow and he's going to be dead. Just like that. I just felt helpless, and I was just like, I was also kind of excited. It's just like, wow,
same feeling. 100%.
It's just like, oh, this is gonna happen.
Came to terms with my death in that moment. I was like, well,
his life flashed before his eyes.
My character should die, and I should take that serious, but it's a story.
It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean,
this is how it's happening.
This could happen, and I have to be okay with it.
It amazed me.
That's
it truly amazed me.
I mean, it worked before, and the way we thought the trap worked, the way Gunnar reasoned it out is there was a pressure plate. You can't activate a pressure plate. Yeah, exactly.
100%.
And you can't activate a pressure plate if you're getting yeeted through the hallway.
If you don't touch it, nothing will happen.
Right? So, you know, strength 18 barbarian. I mean, I know me as a person, I could probably pick up somebody like, you know, Yachts or Mihai or even maybe Yachts, and I could pitch you a good, you know, couple feet down a hallway.
Yeah.
You know, it's possible.
Yep.
So I'm sitting here thinking, adjust for windage, you know, like this is
calculate the slope.
Yep.
How far is he gonna slide?
I wonder what the ballistic coefficient of a sorcerer is. You know? Like these were logical thoughts that were going on, and I was like, all right, cool, and we're in the air, and reflex save what?
Oops. I'm so glad I didn't die though. So kind of shitty weight to carry.
I gotta be honest too, dude. When he had you roll that roll, the color dropped from my face.
Yeah.
I was absolutely shocked. I was like, no, I didn't. Come on, Mike. No. And he was like, no.
And like,
rolling. And I was like, well, fuck, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, fuck Gunnar at that moment. Jack felt fucking horrible. I felt so bad. So like, I was like, oh.
You were feeling. I was like having empathy for how bad you must have felt for just murdering me. Because I assumed, I was like, well, it's over.
It's Oreo just said, I always remember Gunnar. I pick up Mihai and throw him towards the statue. Mike, what? Mihai, Mihai, are you letting this happen? Mihai, yeah, I guess. So actions like this are gonna play out like that. Like if Mihai allows it, okay, so be it. If he doesn't allow it, we're gonna do some rolls and let the dice decide what happens. You know what I mean? It adds that element of randomization in there, but sometimes those dice can be such motherfuckers.
Oh yes.
And I mean, we yeeted like as a team before. I had pitched the sorcerer into the floating room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like this
That's
is
true.
this is something that had worked before. I Idabrix all the time. It's like, yeah, let's go, little one.
Yeah, it's a
Whoa,
thing.
right into combat. You know, it's a thing. Gunnar throwing people is a thing. I should have a feat named after me. Just name
true.
Yeet. Throw random party member with no penalty. It's a thing.
Oh.
So one thing for you if people experience in TTRPGs, a friend of mine suggested I put an item in the game, and I don't think I can do it. Who here is familiar with the deck of many things?
Oh.
I've heard of it.
One of the apparent rules is never draw the card, and I completely subscribe to the exact opposite. I always draw the card.
So here's the okay. I'm gonna so Davdithas and Mihai, do you know what it is?
I've heard stories about it. I don't fully understand what it is, but if I know what it is,
I have no
cause anything from riches to death.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Let me explain. Okay, so one of the last campaigns I played in, no, I'm sorry, 2 campaigns ago, the deck of many things came across, and when you choose to draw from the deck, you can only do it once. When you draw, you never draw from the deck again. But at the time of draw, you say how many cards you want to draw. So you can deal 10, you could do however, 1, you could do whatever. So my DM says, how many do you want to draw? I said 5. He's like, he just fucking looks at me and he's like, I'm like 5. Okay. All right. So, first card I get is, I forget 3 of the, I forget what 2 of the cards are. Okay. Here are the 3 cards I got. You stir as you feel your mortal enemy lock onto your position and begin the hunt. Okay, so that was number 1. I draw the next card, and I got the angelic template. Okay, so I became angelic. I got the wings. I got traits. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm essentially an angel or Asimir. Right?
Okay.
Yep.
The third card I got was I also got the undead template.
Oh.
So I was an undead angel.
Oh my god.
This is why we
Angel.
burn our dead.
And I played in a campaign where one of the primary items of the game was this healing water, and I decided just to touch it a tiny bit to see if it would still affect me, because I was technically an angel, but I was still undead, right? I touched it, it almost fucking killed me. Like, I touched the barest drop of it, and it did like fucking 60 points of damage to me. It was brutal.
Holy.
Yeah.
Holy.
So the deck of many things.
So we need that in our campaign, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I'll draw all the cards.
I'll take 10.
How many? Somebody in chat. How many cards are in the deck? That's how many I draw.
So that was
idea.
So that was suggested to me. All right. So I have some I see some stuff out there. Oh yeah, Cawthon says you can literally lose your soul into another plane of existence. Blah, blah. How many cards in the deck? Blah blah blah. I knew there was another question, but Mac Jackal says, question: will we see more canonized role-playing tavern members? Yes. I got a little busy, so it got a little hard for me to write some of those characters into the game, but I would like to see more of that this season, because that is a primary directive of our channel, is that community interaction. And as you guys noticed, Squee and Heron, 2 of our community, they became so loved by the community, so it's a win-win, right? So yes, that's gonna take some work from me. I'm hesitant. I've been trying to think of all night if I should say this too. Somebody has volunteered to do something for me, and
Is it consensual?
Such a cool idea. And it involves the It involves the RP Tavern, and yeah, I think I'm gonna say it. Because it's not gonna ruin it. You guys won't know who it is.
There's a mole.
Somebody anonymously is gonna play the BGEG and is going to be making appearances in the tabletop in the RP channel.
Oh no.
So somebody has volunteered their time to do some RP for me.
That's a terrible decision on their part. And they
I'm never
fully
setting
support-
foot in there again.
I fully support this idea.
Actually, I think it's a damn it, Aaron. I actually think that's a great idea.
So somebody has volunteered to do that for me. And there's gonna be, I have to review the suggestions, blah words. I have to review the NPCs that have been suggested, and if any new ones come in, I then have to review them and see how I can put them in the story that works, and also give them life. Because for those who don't know, if you go into our Discord, there's a room called NPCs. You answer 5 questions, and you essentially flesh out or give some life to an NPC that we could focus in this world. So I gotta take them, like Squee worked perfectly, Heron worked perfectly. So I want to get more into Wolfguard, the Sword of Wolfguard. Wolfguard is one of our top contributors in the stream. And so there's the Sword of Wolfguard. So we could do more items this season, and I would like to see more canonized NPCs. So if you guys have any ideas for if you have any ideas for NPCs, get them in there. It could be a blacksmith. It could be, something, a blacksmith with a dark secret, or, you know what I mean? Like a Hello Kitty fetish, something like that. You know what I mean?
I consider that a dark secret.
Right.
Then Davdithas.
Those are synonymous terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, you said we weren't going to talk about that on stream.
Yeah.
There was a question that I saw that came up. Somebody asked who our favorite NPCs were, both either in the stream or in the RP Tavern. Yeah. Okay. I thought that was kind of a neat question. All right. I'm gonna take a stab at it. So for right now, I would have to say that I really have 3 favorites, and one has made the cross from the RP Tavern into the story, and that would be Heron.
Yep.
The second is a character. The second 2 are both in the RP Tavern.
Okay.
One of them is a character that Dirtbag Don brought in. He's not here tonight, unfortunately, but it's a character named Medina.
Okay.
And she is like this 80-year-old haggard woman who is she's not really a spellcaster per se. She's more of an alchemist.
Okay.
But has a really interesting backstory, and she's one of those characters that I know he plays her well, because when he started, I didn't like her.
Okay.
And I find that those are the characters that I like the best, because I know that they're being played well. If you can play a character that I don't like, then you're doing something right.
Can you send me crib notes and stuff to look at? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other character, and again, this is another character from the RP Tavern, is Adrian, and that's another one that's a character that has a very deep backstory that we don't know a whole lot about outside of what is very, very slowly kind of trickled out throughout the story. Okay. And they're all really cool characters. And there's been a lot of other great ones that have come out of there as well. So if you're into it at all, I highly recommend checking it out.
I'm going to push the rest of you 3 through this answer pretty quick. We're running out of time, unfortunately. So Mihai, favorite NPC?
Well, there are many good choices. I want to know more about Father Xanthus, Mayor Devon, and Sheriff Hemlock, but the one who's made the most impact on me has been Squee.
Okay. Davdithas.
A little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Erica by my side. Rita's.
God damn it!
I knew the second you said
Tina.
Monica.
Little bit of Sandra in the sun.
Yeah. No, I'm a big Squee fan. That
Could you-
lady who did
could you do
the
me a fa-
fortune telling. Yeah.
Could you do me a favor?
What?
How do you attract Squeak again?
No.
Do it!
No.
I
It's
do
so
this-
cringe.
I do this.
It's
Every
so
episode.
cringe.
I just go into the forest and I go, Scooey, Scooey, wah, wah, Scooey.
It's like a
And
full
then-
body movement on the.
Yeah.
And you're thinking of Madame Mavashti.
Yes, yes, yeah. I liked her. She was. an
Oh yeah,
interesting
she was
character.
interesting. Yeah.
So
Definitely interesting.
So unfortunately, we are out of time. And I'm going to cut off the questions here. But I'm surprised. I'm very surprised that nobody on the cast or in the audience asked about the witch.
I was actually just thinking about that about 3 minutes ago,
Yeah.
but I didn't say anything. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. This was like we wanted to get started tonight, but I didn't think I could give you my all when it came to the story. So thank you so much for sticking around with us tonight and talking to us about some of the behind the scenes stuff, some of the character interaction. We were gonna go back and look at episode 1 through 20 and just talk about it as we went through. We didn't even scratch the surface tonight. So
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much.
Like,
Um,
we threw out all this content, and I don't think we realized how much there actually was out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
There
20 episodes is a lot.
20 episodes is a lot. So thank you guys. Looks like we got a lot of new followers tonight, and we got new members of the community, and we got new Patreon subscribers, and guys, thank you so much. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, like, you guys make this so fun for us. Like, we get to sit around and play D&D, and you guys get to be a part of that. So I look forward to season 2, which is going to premiere next Sunday. We're going to premiere it next Sunday. And we're going to get back into the story. But I would really encourage you guys, if you like the show, let me put it this way. Let me ask you guys a favor. If you enjoy the Tabletop Tavern, share it with a friend. That's the best way you guys can support us, is helping us get that exposure to a wider audience, so we can make them laugh too. You know what I mean? Like, we put a lot of work into this, and like, we're growing. We're consistently growing. Every time we stream, we're growing. But it means a lot when like a recommendation from a friend to a friend, it just goes a long way. There's many ways to watch the Tabletop Tavern. If you want to start from the beginning, if you're brand new coming into the show and you want to get a backstory, you can either go to the podcast app of your choice and just search Tabletop Tavern, or you can go to youtube.com/howinerd. All our videos are up there. If you want to connect with the cast and the community, the best way to do that is Discord. If you look under the channel, all our links are there. Or reach out to myself or the mods, and we can put the links in the chat for you. But Discord is the best way to stay involved with this community. We have a very active Discord community, which is amazing. So stop by, introduce yourself. That's the biggest thing. We have a lot of people come in and just hang back. Introduce yourself. Like, Luna is a phenomenal community.
Yes, I'm a community all within
You
myself.
are a community.
And
Fantastic
phenomenal one at that. Manager is the word we're looking for.
Community manager. So if you're not comfortable jumping right in and saying something in front of everybody, shoot Luna a message. She'll lead you nice and slow and introduce you to people. But like I said, Discord is the best way for you to connect with us. And it looks like we had 3 or 4 people join Discord tonight. So welcome on in. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the fucking madness. And so we have some couple things. We're gonna start the merch thing, the competition for the t-shirts. Looking for more NPCs to be created in the NPC channel, and I'm dropping stuff because I'm Italian and I talk with my hands. And
Yep.
As he smacks his mic.
Twice.
Mic boom.
Twice.
Hey, rate and review us on iTunes, please. That,
yeah, oh,
would, that
God.
would make a huge difference. My God.
Yeah.
That is such a big thing. So if you have an iTunes
It helps
account,
for discoverability.
yeah, like, and that's like, so for those of you unfamiliar with streaming and stuff like that, it's one of the biggest hurdles that we face is the discoverability. Like, I'm proud of our content. We have great content, but it's getting it in front of new faces. So for those of you joining us tonight for the first time, thank you so much for the follow. If you want to come, start at the beginning, go back and watch episode 1 to 20, and you'll see the progression of these wonderful characters. Tonight we're gonna raid outside our category. Typically we raid within our category, but I got a friend who's streaming who's recently switched his schedule over to nights. Really good friend of mine. He is my
Really good guy.
He is my stream mentor. He is the one that has taken me under his wing and taught me a lot about streaming, and along the way became a friend. He's local to me. We live fairly close to each other, and we've become more friends than anything else. So we're gonna raid Skullstream tonight, and we're gonna go show him some love. Now, for those of you here who are subscribers to the channel, when you guys get over there, drop those emotes. Let him know where the fuck you're coming from, and show this man some love, because he's an amazing streamer. He has amazing content, and he's an even better person. So let's kick that off, and we will see you guys again next Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll get that. We're gonna get this raid kicked off. So thank you guys. I'm gonna kick it over to our ending screen right now, and we'll see you next week. I'm gonna let the credits run and give people the credit to do. Marshmallow, thank you so much for that $5 donation. You are rad. All the new subscribers, all the new people, we're gonna pop this over to Skullscream, and I gotta do one thing first. All right, let's go.